Hey there, everybody! Welcome back to FS19 PV County. How's it going there, Mr. Detto, Mr. The Vink, and anybody else out there lurking at the minute? So, today I'm kind of going to be showing off basically all of the factories around the map once they're built, and including some of those ones that you have to place down yourself, build and put together, sort of thing. So, but we'll get into that in a little while. I'm just doing a little bit of field work to start off with, till I get a few more people in, and then what I'll do is I'll do a quick tour around the map, showing off all of the factories once they're built. Obviously, this is my original save game, hence the rather large money. I did a lot of selling in the desert, let's put it that way. Oh, that's a good way of making money, that's for sure. And yes. But yeah, obviously, right now, map-wise, I actually own all of the map. I have no loans, I do have animals, which we'll get to later on. Obviously, I've got all of the additional factories placed down, so yeah. And I've combined a lot of the fields around here as well. And it seems like back in when I was playing this save game, I was very obsessed with getting rid of grass around the main farm because I've taken away all of the grass and repainted it with dirt textures type thing. So yeah, okay. Not sure what I was thinking, but okay. But yeah, literally most of this area where I am right now, this where the Johnson's farm is, there seems to be very, very little grass. I do have one little field here that's got grass in it, but apart from that around here, there's very little. In this side anyway, there's a little bit down by the shop, but that, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it also seems I was a little bit obsessed with John Deere's back then. It seems like a lot of the equipment on this farm is John Deere. Oh well. It's fine, it's nice big stuff obviously. This is the 9RX, I believe that is. Let me pad in and get closer. Yeah, so the 9620RX John Deere. And obviously that is the... Ooh, I think that's the 90, the DB90 if I remember rightly actually there. Could be the 120, but I think it's a little bit short in all honesty. But yes, good for a work with, that's all I can say, that's sweet. What are the black rocks on the map? Are they called? No, they are gypsum. Not gypsum, what do you call it? Box... crap. It's the one that goes into the steel factory, I've forgotten the name of it. Bauxite, I believe. Is it bauxite? Galena, that's the one. Thank you, Team Mother. Yeah, so you're probably thinking about this area here and at the top here. Yeah. Galena, thank you. My brain went totally blank. Actually, I've got a little truck here, so yeah. These guys right here. So, yeah, that's Galena. What you actually need is... Actually, I can actually show this off because I have it available. Is you're going to need dynamite. Obviously, one of the things is you are going to need to own that plot of land as well, so bear that in mind. Once you own it, you can then come over with some explosives, and we can actually show this off now. Because yes, like I said, I own all of the maps, so I can do this. So we'll come on over to here, and by the way, hello Mr. Dead Soul over on YouTube as well. So on one of the sides, you should see the little trigger there that says explosives. What you want to do is grab one of your fan dabby dozies. If I can get one to come out. There we go. Grab one of your explosives. And I always try and throw it into the trigger rather than walking into it. Give it a moment. And that will... Actually, make me just go up a little bit. It's going to be a bit of a loud bang. I do apologise. Get one. There we go. Once it explodes, obviously you're going to get some... I think it's gravel that comes off of this. If I remember rightly. But yeah, these rocks right here are galena. And these can then be picked up and go into the steel factory. I think it's something to do with the timing of when the explosives added. Also, the time as well that you're running at. Obviously, on Monday stream, was it Monday or last week when I was doing the tunnel? Obviously, I had it at 5 times speed, and it was literally blowing up the wall within seconds. But yeah, if you're on like 1 time speed, yeah, I can't remember the exact time, but I think it's roughly every 17 to 20 seconds they're meant to go off. But yeah. But yeah, that is literally how cool it is. But yeah, these can then go into the steel factory to make all the parts and stuff over there. So that's cool. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Ooh, what's that there? Oh, it's PFs. Oh, righty, righty, righty. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? So we do have a few people in. So this is mainly for those who haven't really seen the factories once they're built. So I think. Let's see, let's see, let's see. What do I have in the center here? Right, he's fine. Actually, I'll get this guy on a hired helper so he can carry on doing his duties. But yeah, look, Mr. T. Miller, a John Deere. I know how much you love them. Oh, yes. There we go, there we go. Actually, yeah, there we go. That should be fine there. I've done a headland either end. He should be fine for the minute. Righty. So. I'm just trying to think what I've currently got in the middle here. I don't think I've got anything too special, but I'm going to quickly take a little tour around the map. Obviously, the first thing I do need to have on is obviously flight mode. We'll turn that on, and I need player speed as high as possible. Go for 8, yeah. We'll turn that on, and we'll go back. Oh, hello. Oh, look, I've even got a John Deere over here as well. Holy heck. Really, dude? Really? Oh, we'll sort you out later. I will send them up to Field 90s. Decided to go the weird way. But anyway, you can stay there. Right then. So... Actually, yep, that's a good spot to be, because... So we're at the bottom of... Oh, the map. There we go. Right, so down here, we do have, obviously, the Dusty Lane farm, which was X-Man's farm. Hey, Farmer Marks, how you doing? Actually, while I think about it, see if my stream deck is working or not. It is! Woohoo! Had an update, so I wasn't quite sure. But let's get Mr. The Vink, T Miller, Farmer Marks, all shout outs. If you're not following them, make sure to click on the links, give them a follow. Obviously, I have come through, removed a lot of what was down here, because to be honest, didn't really need it. But I do like that whale. Wouldn't that be nice as a little placeable in 25? Maybe something to do. But yeah, the nice thing is, if you are down here, you do have an entire dock area as well. But anyway, sidetracked. One thing I will say is, if you sell a plot of land that has one of these buildings that can be demolished and blown up, yeah, the building's going to return, by the way. Just so you are aware. Yeah. I noticed that the other day. I sold the plots of lands that I was working on the other day, and the buildings reappeared. So yeah, bear that one in mind. So if you want extra materials, I don't. Now the thing is, I don't know if you get extra materials after that first one. So bear that in mind. So it may just be a waste of time to keep the land. Now anyway, so coming. So yeah, we're literally just down from the main farm. So the main farm is over here. You got the vehicle shop over there in the middle, roughly. To give you an idea. So obviously, got that first bridge built there. So some of the factories you haven't seen before. So obviously this one was repurposed in 22. Obviously this is the original Del Monte factory, very nice little one. Obviously in 22 it then became the Solo factory. So you've seen the building, and it's pretty much what it is. I believe you do have to build this one. I can't remember. Let me come into here a sec. I think it's under the foods if I remember rightly. Yes, Del Monte right there. Yes, so yeah, that is another one of the buildables. So that could technically in the future be set up the same way again. Obviously, once you place it down, you have to add the products in and then allow it to build. Looking at it, it was only about 4, maybe 5 products to go in there to build it, so should be a fairly easy one. Now, one thing with a lot of these factories, and then luckily I've got this not done yet, is you can go if you got the Dell Electronics factory built and running. Obviously, that's more of a late game thing, but things like displays and light kits can be added to a lot of these factories. So if I was to basically bring a display palette over here, on this wall right here, I would end up having a little display, which is kind of cool, which would show all the products that are in the or needed for this factory. In addition, if I was to add the light kits, I would probably get a light up here. I think I'm not quite sure if there's multiples, if it's just one. Let me just check something. I'm pretty sure one does all. Look at it, yeah, I'm about right. So yeah, Coffee Man raiding with a party of 2. Welcome in, Mr. Coffee Man. How was your stream today? So we are going to be showing off some of the factories that don't necessarily get seen often because they're more of a later game type thing. Oh, excuse me. I had sweet and sour chicken for tea, and it's now bringing back the sweetness sauce is coming back on me. But if you guys are not following Mr. Coffee Man, make sure to click on that link, give him a follow, and I am going to have to close you down now because I was watching you. Hopefully you had a good stream, sir. But yeah, so that's the first one I'm going to show off. Obviously, the Del Monte. Obviously, over here we do have Coles, Sell Point. See that before. Obviously, we got McDonald's, Wolfies. This was one of the pre-placed factories in here. Actually, if I bring that up, I'll give you an idea where I am on the map. So right down the bottom. It's basically the same as what it is now, really. The only difference is with this one, it also had a sell over time option in there as well, so you could take products to it to sell over time. And it's not something we haven't been able to replicate yet, but yeah, there's not much you can say. It's Wolfies. We love Wolfies. So going on from there, and obviously that's pre-placed as well. This is another pre-placed one. Obviously Sam Adams, and I've literally kept it when I've been converting it pretty much the same as what it is right here, right now. Obviously, once we get displays back, obviously they will be being added back in. But overall, it's exactly how it is in 22 and 25. So yeah, cool. 45, yes. 45, yeah. Obviously, for those who've played the 22 Canyon Crossing, you'll recognize this dude. Yes, this was added into the mod pack as a placeable, as well as being added into the actual map itself by Barrow Logistics. Hey, Mama Do, how you doing, sweetheart? Da, 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 da. Let's give you a shout out as well, because I know you were playing. Was it yesterday? Briefly. But yeah, there's that. So anyway, so coming across, I'll say another one that's pre-placed is the Dell Electronics. Visually, it looks the same on the outside. However, this actually version had a few interesting goodies and stuff on the inside that Mr. Dajdet set up. So these displays, for example, are all the products that get produced behind the scenes for other things, and as they build up in the actual visual boxes there, it's kind of cool. I like it. This is something could potentially look into trying to replicate. I don't know if it'll be able to, but you got your LEDs there, you got computer chips, translators. Oh no, yeah, a whole lot of different things. But overall, it's oh heck, it's only problem when you're in flight mode. It's kind of difficult. But yeah, overall, it's basically the same as what it is now, really. Obviously, the only difference is with the displays over here, they've all been obviously removed. And I think I had just, was it a few along this edge here or this wall, just to show what's in there. But it would be nice to have like things like the light kits back and the displays where you have to add it in at some point to add the lights in and the displays. That would be kind of cool if that can be worked. And oh yeah, sorry, yeah, Farmer Marks, thank you very much for that 45 stream streak. I'm not quite with it today yet. And Mr. Kaufman for the 5 stream streak. So yeah, it is very, very cool. So definitely a walk down memory lane. So I've got a lot of stuff in here already stored up. So going on, this one right here is one that hasn't really been shown that often in a stream. This is one of the additional factories that have been added, and this is actually the pie factory. Not pie, the pastry factory. So this is another one that you can build, which is kind of nice. So you place it down, you build it. Once it's built, obviously you can add your lights, your displays as usual. And with this, you get a whole variety of different products to go in it. You can see right there, you got apples, pecan, strawberries, black currants, blueberries, flour, yeast, and so on and so forth. I think it'd be kind of nice if we could get possibly this back at some point or something similar. Also, we do have Mr. T. Miller's Pie Factory, so there's that. But yeah, this does the pastries. And one thing I noticed as well, and I don't know if you guys would notice it either. So if I look at that storage, there's kind of something not quite right there. Can anyone pick it out? I'm sure T Miller would. And if Mr. Green Thumb Farmer is lurking, or Mr. Dave, they'd probably spot it as well. But there's something going kind of funky on with this. The wall, it's kind of on top of the wall, really. It's the roof for this. It's actually cast. It's not cast in a shadow. It's kind of crazy. Look at that. That's crazy. Somebody forgot to add that in. Oh well, it is what it is. I don't know. But yeah, the worst thing is because obviously this roof piece isn't cast in shadow. You're also getting little floating shadows here for, I'm guessing, these lights. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's one thing I have noticed when I've been doing some of the conversions, where they've got things like this. So the doll factory, I think it is, has this shed in it as well. And I had to add in additional pieces to add the shadow casting and the collision actually, because I don't know if this has it here. Let me go up a bit. Nope, see there's no collision on that roof, so I've had to add that in as well. So, but yeah, fun. But anyway, carrying on, obviously we've got the museum right here. Obviously we've seen that, don't need to worry about that. So that's literally down this area. So out of those ones right there, the ones that are pre-placed is obviously you got the Dell Factory, you got Sam Adams Brewery, you got the Wolfie's Pizza. Those are the 1, 2, 3 that are pre-placed. These other 2 that I've shown off were ones that I have placed down in this area. The nice thing is with these areas, there's quite a lot of room for additional factories to be placed down if you really wanted to. But bear in mind, the more factories you have in one area, especially 19, the more lag you may find that you get. So bear that in mind. Now, one of the things I know Mamadou was mentioning about is she hasn't actually seen any of the bridges being built on this map yet. So, obviously, right down from Johnson's farm, we've got the garage over here. And obviously, this is probably one of the first ones most people attempt to do. So, this is actually one of the bridges that is built. And obviously, I've got all 18 built on this map. So, we can actually take a little tour around and see most of them. Some are long, some are short, so bear that in mind. But yeah, that's that area. Now, one thing to remember, all the bridges links into another area which need to be built. Now, depending where Mr. Dajnet's put the trigger, it can be a little bit tricky to find the unload area. It may be on this side, it may be on the other side. So have a hunt around and find the best way of getting there. And obviously once they're built, the road becomes opened and you can actually come over and drive over them, which is quite nice. So from here we're going to carry on down. Obviously on the right hand side here is some more buildings and such. Also we got the flour factory that's pre-placed and pre-built, which is quite nice. Nice easy one. So just buy the land and start getting on with it. So we've got sell points over here. So free to lay, obviously right now it's just really the shed on the end and the first silo. Back in 19, as you can see, it was a lot bigger footprint to it. One of the things we decided is we kind of want to shrink it down a little bit. And yeah, so from having 4 or 5 towers there, shrinking it down to what it is now seems a lot more usable, I think. Who knows, maybe in the future all those additional silos could be added back in. You never know. We will have to wait and see. But yeah, there it is, free to lay. Obviously, you've got all the different unload areas in the middle there. And yeah, obviously your pallets would probably, I think if I remember rightly, they spawn out down the bottom here or inside the building. So coming on down, obviously we've got the Southern Company Electric there. Obviously I've got it all set up with the diesel generators there. Plus, obviously one of the things I mentioned is you can add in from Dell the solar panels and such. And as you can see, I do have all of these all filled up. So these are producing a little bit of extra power just in case it's needed. Obviously, once you got it all up and running, you will need to add in batteries in addition. So bear that one in mind. So there's a little bit of there. So yeah, they're pumping on quite nicely. And yeah, I have got so much power being produced, it's bonkers. Because if I come over here, for example, oops. Oh, can I go up? As you can see, I have additional power pallets all right along there. That's crazy. I could technically turn them off and just let them run for a while. But yeah, it's great. I love it. Right, so one of the factories I'm actually currently working on my other save game is Heartland Bread. And it's exactly the same as it is in 22 and 25. Nothing different. Obviously, the displays are there. That's the only difference, really. But yeah. But overall, it is what it is. You have your different spawn areas at this end. You got the unload areas at the far end as well. And if I remember rightly, you can add sacks into this one as well to get out the containers of bread as well. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was a thing, and they used to come in somewhere. I can't remember where though. I might be wrong actually. What have we got in here? Cranberry orange, okay. I'm sure this had sacks in it. For some weird reason, I'm thinking it took sacks. It's yeast, it's orange, it's pallets. Maybe not. Okay. Maybe not. But obviously, once you get the pallets, you can take them over to Barrel Logistics, where they can then be put into containers that way. Hey there, Sim Game Matt. How you doing? And well done, Mr. Dead Soul. By the way, 96.24. That is very impressive. Hey there, Hectic. How you doing? Hey Billy, do the PV liquid trailers have a weight limit? I can't get resin to load more than 9950. I don't believe so. I don't believe so, Mr. Sim Game Matt. I could do a quick test if you wanted to. In just a sec. Sacks at the flour factory. I think so. I can't remember. Maybe not. But anyway, so this is obviously one of the other factories that hasn't really been changed. Oh yeah, you could do the update mass equals false to after the capacity. But yeah, obviously that wouldn't stop it from filling. That's the thing. Also, what's the capacity of the tanker? Thinking about it. It's where you take. Okay, yeah, we'll have a little look. I might have some in storage that we can test out. So, just quickly, so this is the Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. This is another additional one. This is another buildable factory. Obviously, this is one that hasn't been brought over yet. Maybe it should do at some point. But with this, you obviously got your water, sugar, cocoa, milk, pallets, goat milk, packaging, and coal. I'm not sure quite why you'd want coal, but okay. But yeah, this is a lovely little one. One of two very similar buildings. Obviously, you have that funny little bit on the inside to drive through. This is one of the buildings a lot of people complained about because they had trouble getting through. I never really had an issue, but it might be just me. So yeah, obviously you got your unloading and loading inside. You also have your liquid unloading over here. Now with this, when you place it down and you've got it first built, it will have like an add-on section for it. Basically, when you build this end, this side here where the office is still fenced off. You have to then add in additional products for this section to unlock, which allows you the goat milk recipes, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it's kind of cool. That's kind of like an add-on for the factories. That would be kind of cool if we could get that back. But yeah, obviously this is going to do your cocoa powder, dark chocolate bars, milk chocolate bars, white chocolate bars, and also it's also going to be outputting trash along the way. But yeah, that could be one to look into for the future, maybe. Hmm. So yeah, no, obviously the only other one down here really is the refinery. Obviously that is pre-placed. With this is more definitely a more of a late game thing. Once you've got into the desert and found your oil nodes, once you've started getting crude oil, you can bring it to here. Actually, on the other side is a dock, and obviously you do have the good old boat there for collecting your crude oil. You can unload into the water basically. It will then be pumped into the refinery. From there, you will be able to get diesel out of this, as well as methane, or methane, what you want to pronounce it, and plastic. It wasn't methane, it was hexane, I should say. I know that was used in a couple of factories, but I can't remember exactly which ones. But yeah, this is definitely where you want to get your plastic from anyway. In addition, if you haven't even got to the boat side of things, what you can do with the desert, if you do have some of those pump jacks down, you can actually collect the from the pallets with using the tanker there and deliver it to where that little tanker is. That'll unload the crude oil into it that way manually if you really want to do. So there's a couple of different ways of doing it. Also in the pack, while we're actually talking about the boat there, obviously there is a placeable refuel pump as well. Obviously you have to place it down close-ish to the water side. Obviously if I come to here, I'm trying to see where the heck that trigger would be. It doesn't actually show where the trigger is. But somewhere out here in the water is a huge trigger. Let's put it that way. Um, Obviously, you got to unload your fuel first of all, and then that will be able to then refuel any of your boats, whether it's a fishing boat, that one over yonder, or any of them really. So yeah, actually, I'm actually rebuilding a couple of factories over here. One is the drywall, one's the glue factory. I decided to replace them from where they were originally, but I do have Boomhauer's tobacco factory down as well. Back here, but yeah, let's go do a little. Oh, this is something else. This is another one that you can place down yourself. Is the farmer's market. This is a great way of making a little bit of money over time. You add products into it, and it'll just sell over time. It's kind of a cool thing. Wish we had that back. You have the 100k. Okay, let's see if I can find where my sawmill stuff is. And it's coming out of Cogent. Cogent. I don't know if I've got Cogent placed down now. Because obviously I've got over to Barrow Logistics. Kingsford, Timber Runner, Sawmill. Well, let's have a peruse. Alright, is that been ploughed up or did I? Yes. Dang it. Let's see if I've got any space to put Cogent down. Hey there, not so grumpy dwarf. How you doing, buddy? Right, so I do have a tanker over here. That's good. Let's have a little look. Let's come out of here, actually. There we go. Let's see if we've got any. Actually, I could grab some containers. Let's go grab them first. We'll be back in just a sec. We're going to grab some resin from the sawmill, and we can get some put into the tanker there. See what's going on. I'm pretty sure those tankers already have the update mass equals false in them already, so I don't think it's going to be that causing the issue. Sounds more like maybe a tanker or a trigger issue. Let's see. But as you can see, I did change this area out a little bit. Where are we? We want resin pallets, don't we? Containers, yes. Turn you on. There's one. We'll do a little quick test just for Mr. Matt, and we'll get back to this in just a sec. We're going to turn that off. Yeah, I've got so much going on in here, it's terrible. Let's see, resin, maximize. See, this is what I would love to be able to have happening again. So you got wood coming in one side, it's been shipped down into boards. That would be kind of cool. See, that is the sort of animation we need to get back into some of the factories. If we can get that working again, it'd be great to have these sawmills back. This is FS19, PV County. Dajnet's best map, in my opinion. Right, let's stop that there. We'll change over to that back trailer. Activate you. Yes, also the last couple of weeks I've been showing a lot of the map off. Trying to answer a lot of questions that people have had about 19. 1, 2, there we go. And today I'm kind of going around all of the factories. So obviously I've already showed off the sawmills and all of that, so don't need to worry about that. Right, we've got 4, so that's 2,500, so 100,000 litres of resin right there, so we can test that out. I made a bit of an oops, I noticed. I've driven through that field and destroyed some crop by accident. I went back in and made sure crop destruction was turned off. But yes, if you guys are not following Mr. Not Grumpy Dwarf, by the way, make sure to click on his link above there and give him a follow, guys. Hey, Farmarks over on YouTube as well. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to have more than enough space right here to test this. So if we come into here, we want storage, we want the forestry storage, and spacebar to bring it over here. And fingers crossed. Oh dang, that's huge, isn't it? Oh well, I'm going to take up a bit of this field up. See the things I do for you guys, it's terrible. Nope. In my opinion, 19 is a heck of a lot better than the 15. And obviously 25 version of Rivers is, in my opinion, a lot. Okay, the 15 version had some kind of nice things, but I still prefer the 25 version. If you want to say 22, there we go. Right, so let's get these unloaded. So resin, there's 1, there's 2, unload, 3, and 4. Okay. Righty, so while that is transferring over from the input to the output, we'll go grab a tanker. Well, I take it is the PV tanker you are using there that comes in the pack, Matt? I do have one over here. Let's go into there. You started with 15, that's a Grumpy Dwarf? Ah, okay. Yeah, Farmer Marks has been playing PV Rivers, the original one, back in 15. So, maybe you might want to tune in and have a little look. It might take you down some memory lanes. Yeah, 17 for me. I think T Miller was 17 as well, which is kind of cool. So we both came in and around about the same time, and yeah. We're now both streaming, modding, and all that stuff. There we go. There we go. Let's get this hooked up. I don't think I've got anything in this tanker, but you never know. Nope, good. Right then, so I have no idea what capacity is on this thing, but let's have a look, see if we can get this sorted out. Actually, one thing with Bauer Logistics back in 19 as well, you also had these additional pieces on the back. So you had a silo there that you could unload grains and such into. You got the liquids over there. Obviously, you had pallets in here. Plus, you could unload bales into here, and you could actually spawn them back out over here. I'm pretty sure this took bales. I'm sure I'm not going mental. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff right there that you could have put in as well around the back there. But yeah, I've added in additional bale storages over here. It's kind of cool. There we go. Yep, the last 6 months for 17 for you. Yeah, it's about the same for me, in all honesty. Righty, let's see if this thing's working. So, let me just stop this here. I just want to look at something a minute. Does this show how much is in here? So yeah, this is the 100,000 litre one as well. Okay, that is good to know. So let's do this. We're going to empty. There we go. So this is the 100,000 litre capacity. So to get it back out, if I remember correctly, you have to spawn out the container. It's not quite there yet, so let's give it a minute. So we need it to be on the output section. There we go. Bingo. From there, we're going to spawn all 4 pallets back out. Now, one thing to remember is you may need to get in a little bit closer. I'm pretty sure you can fill up the tanker with this. Let's bring that. Start filling right there. Interesting. I'm not even getting it to fill. See, I'm getting the pop-up, but I'm not getting it to start filling. Could you take it straight from the... Yes, you're not the only one having issues. Obviously, I know you can get it straight out. I'm pretty sure you can get it from the sawmill straight out. Interesting. You did the exact same way? Okay. Let's go test a couple of things first of all. Now, if I'm pretty sure you could get the resin out of the sawmills back in 19 with a tanker. Let me just check something quickly. Right, so, yep, so you can get it from there, that's fine. Now let's have a little second. Oh yeah, I took a little bit out, did I? So I won't do it. Yeah. Obviously, the only other option maybe is if you've got barrel logistics down, and maybe put it into there and take it out of the liquid side. But yes, that is weird. I thought you could put them from the containers into a tanker. Hmm. Let's have a look at something a sec. Yes. Where's my resin gone? Oh, I've got to wait, haven't I? I gotta wait for the resin to process through. Milk storage, really? Let's take on a bit. Was that enough time? Yes. So yeah, one thing you could do is put it into barrel logistics and do it that way. Obviously that way you'll be able to spawn the pallets out still, or the container I should say, and also load it straight into a tanker if you wanted to. Looking at it, maybe the containers didn't have a trigger to load straight into a tanker then. Which is weird, I'm sure it used to. I might be wrong though. Let's try that one more go. Nope, nothing at all there. That's weird. But yes, very, very strange. And now I'm going to have to plough up my field and replant it with grass just because I want to show check Matt's issue out. But yeah, I'd look into getting barrel logistics down because obviously that holds everything. Literally everything. You got grains in there, you got bales, you got pallets, you got liquids, a whole lot. But yeah. Let's see this. Let's just go back with it quickly. Run a poll. What is your favorite FFFS version? 15, 19, 22, 25. See now that is a hard one, Hectate. Especially for me because obviously I love a lot of the features of 19, but it'd be quite nice. But I like obviously the visuals, the sounds of 22 and 25, stuff like that. So it's yeah. It's a very, very hard one between 19 and 22, really. But anyway, so, hey ho, it is what it is. Right, where were we? So, we had just done this area, we've done the area, so cool. So, if we actually tab over to here, so we're literally just above the desert. We'll get back into this now, shall we? So, down in the bottom left of the map, we do have the desert, and on this in this area there is 40 oil nodes to find. Once you find those oil nodes, or crude oil to be precise, you have to put down the pump jacks and get them up and running, and obviously they then give you crude oil, which can then be transported to the refinery right there, to be processed into diesel and other such things. Oh heck, that's slow. Now I can do a little flyover to show you everything. But yeah, this whole desert for me has been cleared. I did have a couple of gold badges down here. I think that was the last one. I've now pretty much got rid of it now, or a silo thing. But yeah, these are kind of cool. So if I actually come down now, one thing with these, there you go. As you can see, the clip distance. Hey, Shawnee, how you doing, buddy? The clip distance on those oil nodes is quite short. So you do when you are clearing this area, you have to be quite have the camera quite close. Hey, Farming Trucker, how you doing, buddy? Yes, there we go. So yeah, when you're clearing it, you do want to try and keep the camera down pretty low to the ground. But as you can see right here, just literally coming down from the Heinz factory, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so quite a few all within a little area, so hence why there's 40. Farming Trucker, thank you very much for the fart number 6 there. Oh, there we go. And if you guys are not following Farming Trucker, make sure to click on the link, give him a follow, guys. He's doing a lot of 7 days, he's doing fishing, he does a little bit of farming at the minute. But yeah, go over and check him out. Now, with all of these, the desert's actually divided into 3 different sections. Each section is connected to one of these storages that is on the water side. Now, to connect them all, what you have to actually do is add in specific products to this area to enable all of these oil wells to pump straight into the storage. So over here, I don't know which ones are which, to be honest, but the ones over in this third of the desert go over into this storage right here. From there, obviously you can bring them manually as well if you wanted to. If you haven't quite got that far, you can bring them over manually and unload them into there. But on the shore side here, or the water side here, I should say, there's a big trigger there that you can actually stop in with your tanker for a crude oil and fill up from there. Now there's 3 of these dotted around the outside of the desert here. So yeah, it makes life that a little bit easier, that is for sure. But as you can see, I do have all of them cleared, which is quite nice. Took me a while, but I got there. But yeah, there's obviously that one there, we have that one there, and then there's one, I believe, over that side. Yep, right there, I can just see the dock coming in, there we go. So yeah, they're not equal, let's put it that way. There's so many on one, there's so many on the other, there's so many on the other, so yeah. It makes life that little bit easier for you guys later on. Now, one thing you could potentially do, as you're going through, use auto drive to mark where all these different spots are. Obviously, I did that in 22 on PB Canyon Crossing. I actually set up a course going around to all the different nodes and actually marked where each of the nodes were. Obviously, next week, I've actually decided I'm not going to bother doing Uncharted. I'm going to leave that for Mr. T. Miller to show you guys. But obviously, if he needs any help, I can always load up my save game. But yeah, next week I've decided I want to go up to 22 Canyon Crossing and get on with a few things over there, and obviously get some answers for some of you guys if you do have any. So yeah, next week is going to be Canyon Crossing, then hopefully get back to 25 the following week. Also, we did have an update, just a reminder, we did have an update yesterday for FS25 to the game. It was patch 1.10 was released. Plus there was a couple of updates as Precision Farming and Plains and Prairies DLC both got updated as well. I know last night X-Man was streaming and for some weird reason his Precision Farming score was reset. So I don't know if it was the wrong save game or what, but yeah. Ugh. But yeah, so far I did load up mine last night to check, and mine is fine. Now, this is one thing I will say as well. Sometimes, every now and again, these crude pallets will spawn out and not go into the trigger correctly. What you may need to do is just lift them up and drop them back into the trigger to allow them to be distributed to the silo. What it could also be is the silo is full, in all honesty, hence why they're spawning out, so bear that one in mind. I'm going to leave that there for the minute, but yeah, obviously you don't want to have too many pallets around the map, that's for sure. Now another thing as well is around the shore you can also do fishing, like I mentioned the other day. So you have sea fishing around the outside of the map, And then on the riverways inside the map, they will have fresh water fishing for you guys. Obviously, there's the fishing boats. You can grab one of them and go to town with it. It's great. And yes, you can ride a horse with no name through the desert. That was the very last thing that Dajnet did before going over to 22. He rode a horse through the desert. He was jumping up and down all these rocks and stuff, and it was, yeah, having a right laugh. It was good. I'm guessing, is Big Daddy still streaming? Or is he actually finished now, from the looks of it? I did have him up, because I was trying to get the last little bit. Okay, I'll leave it up there for a minute. But yeah, so anyway, carrying on up, we do have the Heinz factory, exactly the same as it is in 22, same as 25. Obviously, we do have the smoke now, again in it, which is kind of nice. The only thing is, I am starting to think I would love to have all the bits on the inside back, which I think would be kind of cool working again. I'm not sure how easy it would be to get the autoload to detect it for loading. That's the only problem. I know I've gone in on, oh, which one was it? Was it the Ken's or the Heinz? I think it was the Heinz actually. This one I've actually added in the dock at the back there already. We'll have to see if I can get that working properly again with the pushers and stuff. And obviously, I'll have to play around with things though. Hey Neelisk, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, an old town road, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, obviously pre-placed into the map. Obviously you got to build it. Once it's built, you add the products, same as right now does the vinegar, stuff like that. It is what it is. But yeah, obviously, like I was saying earlier on, over just above the desert here, you can see those big black nodes, big rocks. They are the galena. Also, you need to own the land. Take some dynamite or explosives to that area, those rocks. Within time, they will blow up, giving you smaller galena rocks. Oop. And a whole pile of debris or gravel, whatever it is. So this is another one that I've actually replaced. Is obviously PF's concrete. I put it over here. Removed a few buildings that was up here and put that there. Obviously we've seen that. It's the same as 22 and 25 version. It is what it is. One thing you can do with this version, as well as the 22 version, is you can add sacks in over here to allow you to spawn out container forms of the products that are in here. Who knows, maybe that can be again added to the 25 version. So going on, another pre-placed factory. Over here we have the Pepsi factory. It's a little bit flickery in places. It is what it is. It's kind of the same as it is now. Obviously, we did do a little bit of changing around to make it a little bit more user-friendly, should we say? But overall, it's pretty much the same. It's a buildable. You add the products in, get Pepsi products out. Yeah, it is what it is. You can also load built cement into the cement. Yes, that's another thing as well. Yeah, that's one thing I very rarely ever use. Is obviously in 19 there is a cement mixer where you can actually come to this silo and fill it that way as well. So not only do you get the small pallets, you also get containers, and also you can load it into, I think it's Winston. If you can find Winston's cement mixer for 19, I'm pretty sure that was the one that was used back then. I don't think I have it myself. Good question. I don't even know where it'd be. That's the watercraft stuff, which is all your boats. Ba -ba -ba. Yeah, I don't have it, so I think I used it once. The only thing I found was the steering was a bit naff, in my opinion. I might have to see if I've got it in one of my files, possibly. But yeah, that was obviously another way as well. You can go to that silo and fill up a mixer, as it were. So obviously here, actually while I think about it, look, we've got some more roadway right here. This is the whole thing built. What I'll do is I will actually drive all the way around the map in a little while, just to show the entire length of these roads. Now, one thing as well, with these roads, when you're driving around, once you get them built, be very careful because you could end up getting a toll. Oh, yes. Mr. Dave has added in toll. It was originally going to be speeding fines, but he changed it to toll fines in certain areas along this roadway. So if you see one coming up, you want to slow down, otherwise you will be charged. Yes. Now, obviously, just coming up, obviously, we do have Piper's Farm over there, which we'll get to in a minute. But coming to the area where I was at the other day, obviously, I was blowing up all the buildings and stuff over here, wasn't I? So, here we have another one that you have to place down, which is the Smuckers factory. Now, this is one that came out later on in 19. Yes, T Miller's favourite. I've actually got this converted to 22. I might be able to get it over to 25 and back in, but I'm kind of waiting on certain things to be added to be able to get it to work. Sorry, I was just taking a little bit of a coffee. So yeah, the Smuckers, when this first came out, for those who remember, obviously on each of the floors there's two productions that you have to unlock on each floor. So you got 2, 4, 6 productions in total that you unlock with this factory. Now, when this first came out, we had to go up these steps in the middle with pallets. It was a friggin' nightmare for those who remember. I'm sure T Miller and a few of you guys remember, but yeah, I had so many problems. I kept dropping pallets and banging in things. But the nice thing is, our great friend, Mr. Shy Wizard, within a week, added a lift on this end here. So you can actually drive into there, or put your pallets into a lift there, and then go to each of those levels to set up each of the different productions. We'll get inside in just a minute. There's another one right there, depending on which floor you needed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels in total. So 12 products, and my bad. Jeez, I didn't realise it was that many. I thought it was only 3. Oh, dang. Let me turn this off because I want to go inside to show a few things off. So let's turn that off. We're going to turn flight mode off. 3 elevators. 1, 2. Yeah, oh yeah, because you had 2 here. So you got 1 there, you got 1 there, and each one went to a different level. Yeah, I remember now. And then 1 on the side here. Crazy. It really is. But yeah, with this, on the inside, obviously, when you come in, down this end right here, one, you're going to need to add in light kits to each level, which I believe is probably located somewhere over in this direction here. But then you have these little stations that you have to unlock in the shoot. I believe around right here somewhere, there's a little trigger that shows everything. So this is going to be another food one, isn't it? I'm kind of deliberating on putting one down to show the whole thing off. Schmuckers 1.34. Do I have space to put one down? Yes. Because it's probably going to be easier to show than explain it. So we'll pop that there. I can always sell it afterwards. But yeah, once they're built, you'll see all that stuff. Oh look! There's something else wrong with this factory as well. Does anybody see? Isn't the shadow being a little bit weird? Do people not add in shadows in 19? So yeah, so when you place it down, it looks very, very simple. There's very little really showing. Obviously, you've got all these things like this, these little displays that could be added later on. But yeah, when you go inside, da, 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 here we go. So things like this right here. So this is definitely one more for the later game stuff. So you're going to need things like the Dell Electronics up and running, Copper by Design, the refinery. You're going to need the Galena going into the steel factory for bits and pieces. So yeah, this is definitely a later game one, and I don't know how many people actually get round to it. But as you can see, you have plastic, wire, tubing, motors, heat sinks, glass, circuit boards, aluminium, whatever you want to pronounce it, parts and plates. If I remember rightly, it's about one pallet of each of the products that needs to be added into these triggers. And then what I would recommend is do one floor at a time, add products in, let it run through time, and finish the build or the adding, whatever, on each line, each end, and then go to the next one, and go to the next one, and then go to the next one. For the simple fact, some people back in 19, when we were playing the map a lot more, mentioned that when they started going to the next level, or they were starting on a different level, they were finding not all of the palette was going into the triggers. What was found is it was actually cycling through to the one below. So yeah, what I'd recommend is start on the ground floor, get both of these unlocked, then go to the first floor, then the second floor, so on and so forth, and unlock each on each level as you go on through. Oh, there you go. So that's where the light kit goes right there. But yeah, the nice thing is, because of the height in here, when we go further up, once you get into using the elevator on either end or on one end, where are you, over that side? Had to remember which side it was on. Make sure you get the right elevator to where you're going. So obviously get your products on, first of all, onto the lift, come on up, put your products into there, put your products into there, let it build. Then go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. But yeah, I know, I think it was T. Miller, I think he mentioned that he was actually using a gator or a skid steer in here, and to bring the pallets in. But yeah, if you've got super strength, that's another good way of doing it. And yes, good luck, T. Miller, for your surgery on Friday. Oh crap. But that was the big issue as well. You get up so far, up the lid. So that first week when people were doing this, if you think about it, if you're carrying a pallet up these stairs, it's kind of hard, because if you make one mistake as you're coming through, you could end up falling down. So yeah, so say you get here, you actually go like that. Oh, it's like, oh man, so you're gonna have to go all the way back up. So having those elevators on that one end, keep going the wrong side, over there, or wherever it is, made life so much easier. So yeah. So yeah, I'd recommend do that. Wait till it's completed, really build, or added. Go on to the next one. Do the same thing again. Add the products in. Wait for it to be built. Then go on to the next one, the next one, and the next one. Then finally up to the top one. Makes life so much easier. It really does. Obviously, once you got the lines unlocked, obviously while they're doing, what you could do is add in the displays and the light kits as well on the outside, and get products going in when you need them. And obviously, once you get it built and or everything unlocked, your factory will look something like that. I think I've got more light kits on the outside still to go with that, but overall that looks pretty amazing. Obviously, the pallets will spawn out on this end here, and as you can actually notice, I think it's sort of around the front here. So I think it's along this edge here, if I remember right. I can never remember, but yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, this will obviously output all of your different jellies and preserves. It's a really kind of cool factory, and I think it would be nice to have it back, but be able to have those options where it can basically add in a different product at a time. I think that would be kind of cool. I know back in 22, Braven, who did the revamp mod, said he was going to be adding in a add-on production to the revamp mod, and that was basically what this building needs to basically work the way it is back in 19. But yeah, never got added, unfortunately, so yes. Billy wasn't as picky as 19. Yeah. To be honest, because of my hired helpers have actually all finished, what I can now do, because I saved, I can actually, because obviously I'm putting these additional factories down, should say that one, and the other one, I can actually just crash it and reload if need be. But yeah, back then obviously I was using John Deere equipment as well, so bear that in mind. But yeah, obviously that is when you place down and then add the products in. But yeah, as you can see, I've cleared all of the buildings that were up here and reused some of them as well. So for example, we got Boomhauer's roasted nut factory here. That's another one you can place down and get up and running. Obviously he's brought over to 22, but nothing yet for 25. Obviously we got Craft, exactly the same as it is now, really. In 22, I think. Have I got this over to 25 yet? I can't remember. I know there's a few factories I'm waiting for, but I'd love to be able to add in things like these light kit options and these additional parts to the factories again. It just seems to add a little bit extra gameplay into the factories. But yeah, obviously, if you've seen the craft factory, actually, yeah, because the macaroni cheese, yes, I've got it on my 25 version, haven't I? Think about it. But yeah, be able to get the light kits back in, get the displays being added back in. That would be kind of a nice idea eventually. Obviously, we've got the Dole factory. That's another one that you can place down. It's exactly the same as it is in 22, 25, and as you can see, the shed once again has no shadow casting on that roof. But that's another one that you can place down as buildable. Same as 22 version. Right, so going up from there, obviously, as you can see, I do have bridges built everywhere. So, yep. Oh, this is another thing as well that was a great thing in 19, should say. With the fish that you picked up from the boats, you could actually unload them into these hatcheries. Obviously, you had to add in water and stuff like that. And once you added that, you were able to then get fish and caviar out of them. Now, I don't think I've currently got anything in these, but I'm pretty sure Shy Wizard was able to get the fish animations sorted out in late in 22, but never got them added. I don't think I've got any. Yeah, there we go. I've got some in there. You can just about see them in there. Look at that. And obviously, at the end of this year, Farming Simulator 25 will have something similar coming. Also, yeah, I've got the fish coming with this the Highland Fisheries map. So, yes. Seem familiar. But yeah, obviously you got two different versions. One is for your ocean fish. The other is for your freshwater fish, or whatever you want to class it as. But yeah, you can actually drive up pretty close to these and unload the fish direct into that. From there, you obviously got to add your water, you got to add fish food, stuff like that. And then any of the outputs, apart from the caviar, can then go into things like your farmer's market to make your oil and stuff like that. So I got a whole little area here set up for that. And the nice thing back then is the Rytrans animal trailer actually loaded fish into it as well in little pallets. It's kind of cool. But yes. But anyway, coming on up, coming on up. Let's go on up, up and away. So, coming up the map, so to give you an idea of where we are, let me just save that a sec. Dang it, don't want to do that, but oh well. Never mind, I can always take it back if need be. So, we are coming up over to this area right here, right now. So, just across from Port Fitzgerald. We are over here. So, obviously, we've got another fuel station there. Obviously, we've got the lovely area for parking trucks if you really wanted to. But over here we do have the Alcoa. Obviously, this is another place that you can take some crude oil. I think this actually, you can buy, this is the only place on the map you can buy crude oil at for early game stuff. Because, yeah, you're going to need it, to be honest. But yeah, you obviously got your water there, you got your copper, your aluminum, I think it is, come out of here. And yeah, it's exactly the same as it is in 22. The other thing is, it looks so much nicer in here than it does in the later game versions. It's crazy, isn't it? It seems to lose things as you go through. I don't know, it's like the colouring or something isn't quite right on some of them. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Alcoa is Alcoa. Now, while I'm over here, there is another factory that I did place down that I've totally missed. Obviously, this was another one that was repurposed later on in 22. It became the CBD oil, or the CBD factory. Obviously, this is originally the AVO factory, so the American Vegetable Oil Factory. This is another one you could place down. If I remember rightly, this was pre-built. But let's have a little look. If I can find it. AVO right there. Yeah, so that is that's fine. Yeah, so that is literally how it looks. Obviously, you've got the shed over here where all your pallets for picking up stuff comes out of. All your input products go here. And then obviously you do have things like water, trash coming out of this. To be honest, it's a nice building. I do like it. That's one reason why I wanted to bring it back in some form, whether it was as another oil factory. But nicely, we were able to do the the dog chews and stuff like that out of it, so it's kind of cool. At least it got brought back for a little while. Who knows, in 25 it may be back again. But anyway, coming back over here, we do have the Cargill. Obviously, this is another one pre-placed. It is a buildable, so when you first load in, it's just a fenced-off area. I believe on this side of the building, by the road, is where you unload everything. Hey there, Green Thumb Farmer! Holy crap, you've missed most of it, but we're getting there. But yeah, we're kind of taking a little walk through all of the factories that are on the map. We've already covered the bottom one. Yeah, I've got the Smuckers. This is one that you don't see often, so let me come down. So just going back to this one, obviously, I know you've heard about it a little bit. So this is the big, massive Smuckers factory. Each level has 2 productions at either end that you have to basically unlock. And yeah, it makes your jams and your jellies and such. It's a crazy, crazy building. It really, really is. It takes me back. But yeah. But yeah, if you get a chance, it might be worthwhile going back earlier on in the stream to see some more of the other factories. But yeah, it looks so. You see, Alcoa has copper color on parachute. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. This here. And thank you, Stud 12, I think that is. Thank you very much for that follow, much appreciated. But yes, but that's one thing I was saying is obviously the colours when it goes to like 22 and 25, it kind of almost fades a little bit. It's not quite right. But yeah, like for example the railings and the ladders there, they're all that copper sort of coloured. It's really weird, but even the textures just there in certain areas, like there, go with that black colour. It's weird. But yeah, this one's actually I'm trying to think. Is this one pre-built? I can't remember. I think it is. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm pretty sure if you were to look on the map, yeah, where the heck are we? So we're actually over here to give you an idea for Alcoa. But yeah, it's a little bit bigger. I think actually Dave removed a few things as well for the 22 version, but yeah. And yes, it has strange shadows on there as well. So I don't know, crazy. But anyway, obviously we've got Cargill. That's obviously going to be your animal feed company. You got a main unload trigger on this side. On the other side, though, with this version, you have a grass dryer, so you can actually put grass into there and it'd make hay. Yeah, hay, which could then be taken back out, put into the other side, and used to make TMR, for example. Obviously, on the inside, it's pretty much the same as it was in 22 and such. Obviously, you've got the different sections for your different animal feeds. Yeah, but plus you also have the silos to load in. So, for example, this side here, I think if I remember rightly, this side was for the bulk material, so all the different bulk animal materials. TMR, so your cow feed, would be on one side here. It could be the other way around actually. As well as obviously your hay over yonder. So yes. Very, very cool. But that's another buildable as well. Obviously, you got to own the land, build it up, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it is built pre-built. Yeah, I thought it was the Alcoa. Okay, cool. So carrying on up. Obviously, we've got another power company. This is Duke Energy, Electric, should say. And looking at this one, the power isn't having any issues, so that's good. I haven't got any additional pallets out here. I do have all bar two. Oh, almost all bar three, should say, of the solar arrays built and ready. So looking at this, so this is kind of helpful actually. So you've got to add in your solar panels, which you can get from Dell Electronics. I'm trying to think what else. I think it was just batteries was the only other thing you needed. So just those two products going into this. Once it's going, it then produces more power. It's only a little tiny little bit, so don't think it's going to be a huge thing, but yeah, it just helps to trickle a little bit extra in. So if, say for instance, you forget a couple of months worth of filling up the generators, if you've got these going, it's at least going to have some power going to your factories, which is kind of cool. So coming up here, obviously we've got the shell factory. It is what it is. The same. Actually, one thing I'm thinking is, I don't think we do have those flags anymore on that building. I don't remember seeing them in 22 or 25, so I might have to go into the i3D, grab them, and bring them back over to 25. I'm not quite sure if I can get the same waving effect to them, but you never know. But yes, it is what it is. Anyway, carrying on from there. Coming up the top here, we have McCain. This is another pre-placed, I believe. Yeah, McCain was here, wasn't it, originally? Pre-placed, and it is one you have to build as well. So it's exactly the same as the one in 22. Nothing is really changed. Obviously, the only difference is the little shelters are. There's a little bit more of them now because there's more product being added in. This time we only had, I think it was the French fries coming out here. Obviously, the nice thing is in 22 I added a few more and a few more and a few more. So yeah. That's alright, Milo. Oh, he's cool. But yeah, it is what it is. It's the McCain factory at the end of the day. It's in 22, it's in 25. So yeah. Going next door. This is one that hasn't been brought over to 25 yet. Obviously, we've got the Planters peanuts. This is another pre-placed one that you have to build, which is quite nice. Also, we had this in 22, and hopefully maybe one day again it'll be added to 25. Obviously, you got your unload areas right here. You have your pallets over there. You have other pallets over spawning over here. Yeah, there's so much going on in these back in 19. It was crazy. It really, really is. You even had this silo under there for picking up your peanut shells, if I remember rightly. Yep, peanut shells under there, which could then go into the composters, I believe it was added later game. So yeah. So there we go. So that's there. Now, one of the things is obviously, like I said, there's multiple farms on this map. Over this way here, we have the Piper's farm. Um, so this is more of a cow farm area, I suppose is the best way to put it. Now, I ended up using this solely for my animals. So I have ducks, I have the sheep, pigs, cows, goats, all up here. Obviously, I've got my little storage there. Obviously, we got that back in 22. So who knows? This might be coming to 25 as a food storage. You never know. One thing I would like to bring back is maybe a deco pack, and maybe have things like the sign, for example. Maybe have them added in. Maybe not with the logo, but maybe change the logo or something. I don't know. But things like this bull, for example, wouldn't that be lovely in a deco pack where you could place it down? Yeah. But yeah, back here, obviously we do have ducks. Depending on which pen you have, will output a different product. So this one, for example, does the eggs. Now, one thing back in 19, they allowed for water to go into their pens, and also you had the animal pen extension that allows you to add in the little pipes, so you could automatically water them or manually water them rather than always using a tanker. Very cool. But what Mr. Dajna also added was these big towers. Obviously, these are on this map and on Uncharted. These are basically pallet movers. Now, if I drop down, so these are going to be needing the Dell factory because you need the batteries for these to work. They're basically a silo to store pallets in. What you can actually do, if I can do this, if I get close enough, there we go. Add in your animal feeds. There's a tower for each of the different feeds. So there's duck food, there's sheep food, there's cow food. I don't think there's cow food though, but pig food and so on and so forth. What's it showing on the output? You can actually spawn a pallet or two, and once you've got a battery in here, that will keep raising up and down to allow the pallet to unload, just like it did right there. Obviously in 19 the triggers kind of were a bit funny, so if you left a pallet on there, it didn't really take it off the pallet, but it made life that a little bit easier. And to basically be able to do this, you have to come up to the box, oops, and do the left mouse button will open up the little box there to put your battery in. Now, if the battery runs out of charge, you can take it back out, replace it. With these empty batteries, you can actually take them back to the Dell, to any of the power companies, and put them on one of the pads to recharge. It's kind of cool how he did it. Come on, close the door, close the door. Oh, there we go. But yeah, that is something I think would be kind of cool to have back in maybe 25, wouldn't it? Yeah. But yeah, that is it was a lifesaver for a lot of people. I know that. But yeah, obviously I've got my cows over here. I have my pigs. Don't ask for the pens because these are ones I took off of another map, so they're private. So yes. But for anybody who does recognise them, can you name the map they were probably originally off of? And can you name the map creator as well? But yes. Can you or can you not? That's the thing. That's the broad thing. But yeah, there was... Oh, it was great fun. But yeah, obviously we've got duck. What the pluck over here as well? Lone Creek or something? No. Think of... Well, okay, I'll say the map creator was Alien Jim. So, well, one of the maps that it was on was No Man's Land. But before that, These were actually off of a map called... Ah, crud. I can't think of the freaking name now. Mercury Farms. At that time, they were actually built into the map. They did have placeable versions in the No Man's Land map. I kind of pulled them out of the map and made my own little pack of them. It's kind of cool. But yeah, don't ask for them. But I love the way they were set up originally on Mercury Farms, because they were actually kind of a simple build option. You could come over, hit a trigger, and they'd build. It was kind of crazy, it really was, but yeah. I use a lot of his deco mods on Uncharted FNS19. Yeah, to be honest, a lot of people did. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were using it in 22 as well, but yeah. But there we go. So what else we got over here? I have no idea. What was that? Bill storage right there. Okay. And obviously goats. Yep. See, the nice thing is we now have some nice new goats in base game for 25. So yeah. Oh, I wonder. But look at the amount of pallets these things put out. Holy cripes. I wonder if we can get this shed converted over. See, I can't. I don't know. I think this must be this nostalgia. Excuse me, but I'm starting to really like seeing some of these old shed packs again. Crazy. Anywho, right then, let's get back to the tour. So, also we got the Beluga airplane right there that you can actually load vehicles into. It does auto load as well, from what I understand, so you can put pallets into there and then fly around the map. Obviously, you got this airport here. You have one on the opposite side as well. I can save. I need to turn it off. It is what it is. And yeah, back in 19, you had to clean the pens as well. Obviously, you could always go into the XML and stop that from happening. But yeah, that was a very, very cool option. But yeah, so obviously you got the airport where I am right now, but you also have one down here by the racetrack. So literally, you get into the airplane, the Beluga, and it'll literally fly around the map over here, down the side here. It'll land here. It'll turn back around and then fly back around this way. So literally a nice idea, but very rarely got used in my opinion. But it is what it is. This is obviously one of the biggest fields on the map. Field 64. It looks like I'm doing something over here. What am I doing? Plowing it up? Looks like it. It takes a while. But yeah, this is the biggest one on the map. For anybody who hasn't seen this, oh, X. Does this have the specs? Oh, I haven't got the field specs on here. Dang it. Not fair, but yeah, it is a huge, huge field. The only problem I did find is up the far corner there, where the landscaping is, it's a little bit touchy when it comes to harvesters. But yeah, I remember it, T. Miller. He had 8 onion harvesters all going up and down using cosplay on this field. It's kind of cool. Hey, 19 Shays, how you doing, buddy? Now, another thing as well, I remember, for those who are probably coming back to 19 to play the map, in the mod description, you can actually activate mud on this map. If you see on this path right here, you've got these different textures, the 2 different textures. Those lighter patches, when it rains heavily on the map, will become like mud. So if you're into like Mud Runner and stuff like that, realism, go into the mod description and I'll actually show you this. You can actually activate it. You don't need any additional mods because it was actually added to the map itself. So if I... Oh, here we go. Let me do this a sec. Da, 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 da. So what you'll need to do is unzip the map. So go into Pleasant Valley County. Come down to the mod description. Oh, I knocked the microphone. Open it up into Notepad++, and if you actually scroll down, everything, right down here, on this line right there, there is a dynamic mud lure. What you need to do is basically delete this little bit at the front and just delete that little bit at the back, save, and then load up the game. What this will do is those little patches will actually now become like mud along the way. There was something else in here, but I can't remember what it was. I'm sure there was something else in here that was quieted off. But yeah, if you want mud, you want to experience the map in a slightly different dimension, makes you could activate that if you wanted to. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. It really is. Now, before actually, because we're about halfway through, what I'm going to do is take a very quick break, and I'm going to leave you looking at Fort Knox for just a little while. I'm going to grab a fresh drink, and we'll be right back. But yeah, this is kind of a nice little thing. I need to get those tanks that T Miller had. But yeah, I will be right back, guys. You could deactivate the fines on the highway. You could if you could find it. But yeah, I'll be right back, guys. We'll grab a drink. And I am back. Okay. Right, yeah, it's in the description, wasn't it? Yes, I remember. I've seen it. So, anyway, Fort Knox. So, this is a gold storage. So, if you're actually getting a lot of gold, you can actually store it up in here. Obviously, you'd have to own the land, or the water area around it. And with this, you would have to come to the back here with the gold van, or gold truck. And unload into there. Obviously, you can then get the gold back out and load it back into the truck to sell it. Now, one thing I will say before anybody mentions it, there is 3 Easter eggs in this map. I will show where they are later on, but I also want to go through all of the factories first of all. You did you find them? Did you, T Miller? I'm kind of thinking maybe one in each corner, aiming outwards. Yeah, when I think it was the first time, or one of the first few times I seen Mr. T Miller over here. He added in some tanks as extra security to it. It's kind of cool. But one thing would be quite nice, I think. Look at this. If we could have trees on there, but I don't think you can actually place trees around it. It's kind of a pain because it's over the water. So yeah. But we'll get back to that in just a minute. So obviously we're now pretty much covering the top end of the map now. So we're going to go back. We're going to follow the road along. You can actually see the whole road itself is built. But like I was saying, you do have to, depending on where the breaks are located, you may need to go underneath those areas to add in the products to build them so you can actually use the whole highway. Now the road literally goes all the way around the map, and it has different areas to come off, different areas to come on. Now we're going to take a little detour. We do have a swampy forest over here. Now in addition to just above the desert, you can also get additional glina up here. Same thing again, you need to bring some dynamite up here, and you can blow up these rocks along the edge here. From there, you can then take the rocks to the steel factory, and yeah, any additional product can go into, I'm sure it's gravel that comes out of there, or stone. Can then go into any productions that are needed. So carrying on up, so we're now up in the top corner here. So we're going to head up along here. Also, we do have another farm up here, which we'll get to in just a minute. So while I'm flying along, fucking Master 86U, how you doing? You wish you could access Fort Knox, but I own it, so I have access to it. There, actually, just I wonder if it shows in here. Um, Fort Knox is an interesting one. It's got multiple levels on the inside, so you can get very easily lost in there. I will say that. Fort Knox right there. Here we go. So if I open up the production, because that's what it is, come into here. So I do have 300,000 litres in there. It does hold 2 million litres of gold. So there is that. How you doing there, Master 86U, Mr. Randy? Well, yeah, coming on along. What's we got? Yeah, so that's Fort Knox over there, so that's fine. So there's not a lot over here. It's just mostly mountains. Obviously, there was a mine back there. Just bear that in mind. I think that's a gravel one, if I remember rightly. But coming on around, we do have this farm, which I believe was called Hilltop. If I remember rightly. Is that what this one was? Let's see. If we come into here, Thunder Hollow. There we go. That's the one. And this one actually originally starts out as 4 separate fields, all planted with poplar. If you like poplar, yeah, this is a good way to start. That's for sure. But yeah, with this, there we go. Obviously, I've removed a lot of the buildings that were up here, so it looks a little bit different. I've also created an access area into there. Makes life a little bit easier. But there is a dock on each of these farms, just bear that in mind, so you can come around using the barge if you wanted to. So this is obviously one of the other starts as well. In addition, there is tunnels here, there, and everywhere that you can blast your way through. That's a nice easy one actually, it's quite straightforward. But that will then take you into all these different mines. This was a bauxite for the looks of that texture. But yes, but down, coming in towards the map itself from Thunder Hollow, we have another little area. Obviously, you got a bridge over there from Fort Knox that you do have to build to get over here. So bear that one in mind. So we do have Alcoa down here. Oh, not Alcoa, Aldi, you should say. We have another bank up here. We have another coal. So there's quite a lot of sell points around. But we do have copper by design over here. Exactly the same as it is in 22. Obviously on the inside you do have all the displays, your little work area for your people, and obviously your spawning area over there. So simple, it is what it is. Obviously that's pre-placed and it is a buildable as well. So, but that's more of a mid-game, I suppose, best way to put it, factory. Along with that, obviously we do have Black Diamond. Obviously that was brought over to 22 as well. And obviously this is where you get your drills or pump jacks for the desert. Now back in 19, obviously it spawned out here, which was a bit of an issue because a lot of people found that some of the pallets that came out here, especially the drill shafts there, the pipes, fell through and ended up underneath. I don't think I've got any in here, so I'm good. But yeah, it was. The nice thing is with the autoloads pallets back in 19, or the trailer should say, even though these are so big, you could still fit it onto a trailer, but one at a time. Took a while to get all 40 down there, but it is what it is. It's the same as what was in 22, really. Just updated, so rather than it being a huge pallet like that, it became a small crate and expanded outwards with all the parts. So yeah, it's very cool. But this is also another pre-placed. It's not a buildable, but it is pre-placed up here. Now behind me here is the good old Campbell's factory. Same as what it is in 22. Obviously you've got all the different cans there. This is a buildable as well. Obviously the unload area is on the roadside here on the back here. So input on one side, pick up your pallets on the other side. And I'm trying to think if there was displays. I don't think there was any on this one, maybe on the inside, but yeah. It's exactly the same as it was in 22. It's quite nice. Like it. I do like that building. Especially because obviously these cans are supporting each level. It's crazy. But yeah, over here we do have Borden Dairy. How it was back in 19. Obviously the 22 version was exactly the same colouring, but obviously with 25 it had to change a little bit because things were a little bit more complicated on converting it over, but Green Thumb Farmer did his great job on getting them sorted for me. Been pretty good, just working a lot. Oh, but it was good to see you around, Mr. Master 86U. So yeah, obviously that's pre-placed. It's not a build. I can't remember if this was buildable or not. I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure that it's pretty much they're ready to rock and roll. I could be wrong. But yeah, obviously take your milk there, your goat milk, and get your products back out. Coming over, we have Walmart. Obviously back here, or back then, we had bushes and stuff in here, so it was quite nice. It would be nice to have this back again, maybe one day in 25. I know Darius converted it to 22. Took him a while to get some of the lights and some of the textures working, but yeah, who knows? We might be able to get this back in 25 one day. But yeah, with this, it's a simple little thing. You unload the stuff at the back here, and yeah, it's a sell point basically. In addition, over here we do have PSEG, which is another power company. So you've seen them already. Obviously, I've got the coal generators up and running over here. So yeah, I still like this. I would love to have these in 25. I really would. Actually, this is another area I haven't got the solar panels yet, but I'm getting there slowly. But yeah, so that's there. So coming back up onto the road. Now, if I remember correctly, this section up here was disconnected, so you had to build this section of the road. It was either here or a bit further around. And if I can remember correctly, underneath the bridge right there was the trigger to unload the products to rebuild it or repair it. So that should help you guys out roughly to find that one. Now coming across Austria in the distance we do have the PMS, which we'll get to in just a sec, but driving on all around. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to take a little tour around with the car in the bits, but coming up to the top end of the map. So right here we're typical, saving again. We're actually just off the map over here, over the side here. So to give you an idea, so yeah, we're up in the upper right corner now. So up here we do have the butcher. Obviously this is a buildable back in 19. So you do have to bring get the bridges built and get the products up here to build these things. So yes. So obviously up here we could have your goats, your sheep, your pigs, your chickens, and cows going into it. And then obviously you get your products back out like we did in 22 and 25. The only difference is obviously with the 25 version, the sheep and the goats are now combined as one, but you do get the same products out. But up here we have, I can never remember, it's got a, which one was this? Which one was that? Lydia's Garden Shop, yes. So this was kind of a storage area, but it also, no, it wasn't storage. It was a production that made candles and stuff, I believe. Was this candles and soaps or something in this one? Oh, firewood and such. See, I can't get the pop-up thing to come because I'm running around so fast. There we go. Power pallet, fire. Let's have a look. So yeah, they did you candles, did you soap, and fire logs. Yes, I remember now. But yes, it was kind of cool. I liked it. There we go. Obviously, there's more tunnels here and there, which allowed you to go into the mountains and so on and so forth. But yeah, we've got Taco Bell, we got Costa, no Starbucks. Don't know why I thought Costa, but yeah, coming across here, another fuel station. So obviously these you could buy, fill up, and then refill your vehicles. Now heading up this area here, this little back road. Also, we do have a mine up here. Obviously, down the bottom, the other side of this forest here, there is another dock. So if you're early game, you could actually take the barge, for example, bring it all the way around the outside to this dock, and then drive up here with trash if you needed to. Now, like I said, we've got PMS up here, which is your recycling building. Now, one thing to, like I was saying the other day, is around the back of here, there's also a trash sell point. Do not get them mixed up. If you want to reuse your trash, do not bring them to the back here. You want to take them inside the building. Now, if I turn this off a sec, obviously, like in 22, you have to come to the underneath here, unload into your trash bags into here, and obviously that is then going to separate them into the different products. So the four products is paper, glass, plastic, and aluminium sheets. But you also need power. And obviously this is going to be coming from the closest power station, which is that PSNG that we were just at a minute ago, to supply this one. Obviously you can actually spawn the pallets out down here. Then if you wanted to, you could take them upstairs and use them up here. But in addition, you could also bring in it from other factories. Obviously, with this up here, you could get packaging, which is right there. And I don't think... Oh, yeah, that's the input products. I think that's the only thing that comes out of this area is the packaging. Yeah. So, but you can bring your plastic, your paper, your aluminum, and all that into this section. And then get your packaging, which could then go into other factories. But good little way of doing it. That's all I can say. But anyway, heading back to the road. We're going to head further along into the corner to where the rice fields and the cranberry fields are. Now the area coming up is the only area on the map designated for rice and cranberry growing. So bear that in mind. So over here we do have 3 individual fields that can be flooded, as you can see from here. Obviously you can plant your rice in there, you can plant your cranberries in there. I'm pretty sure it was cranberries as well by then, came in here. Now, obviously, they will fill from rain, so bear that in mind. But, if you wanted to, you could fill and remove the water from the 3 fields with the little silos right below me here. Each one is connected to a different field. Which one's which? Who the heck knows? But yeah, I'm sure you can figure it out, that's for sure. But yeah, obviously, it makes life easier. One thing I will say, it takes, I think it's around about 4 or 5 tanker loads to remove the water level enough to get in to do your harvesting and your planting, so bear that in mind. But yeah, it's literally so cool. I like it, I like it, I like it. Obviously, you've got to be on this side here, where the pipe is, to take the water out and put it back in. But yeah, I like it. Actually, it's this corner as well, I believe, was another section that would need to be built. But I like it. Another feature that is sorely missed, being able to flood those fields and remove the water. But they kind of add that in 25. But anyway, heading back down this way. Also, we've got more mines. As you see, there's a whole lot of mines. So yeah, all this mountain area is different mines, different products and stuff. So yeah, obviously a lot of them, if not all of them, you need to clear tunnels, to walls and stuff like that. Hey Vortex, how you doing? Just up by, we'll catch your YouTube replay medical appointment. Okay, no worries. No worries, but yeah, thank you very much for popping in, and glad you got your issue sorted out that you were working on. So anyway, coming over here. So, also we do have another farm up on the hill over there, which we'll get to in just a minute. That's Hilltop, which is a horse farm, horse training farm. It's got a whole horsey area up there. I don't know if I've got everything still there. I might have actually removed it, but kind of a nice area. But, obviously you've got a bridge right there, which you come over. Coming down, we come straight to the Kellogg's factory. So, for anybody who, I think I was up here on Monday. This actually, before it's built, obviously it's pre-placed, but before it's built, it's 2 fenced off areas with a couple of lumps of gravel or something like that. That is what this looks like once it's built. But yeah, obviously you got, it's exactly the same as it was in 22. Obviously I know JD Fan spent a lot of time converting it over to 22. There is a possibility of it coming to 25, but being rebranded as a more of a generically named company, cereal factory. So, another thing as well, what's missing? Shadows from the towers, go figure. But yeah, coming across, obviously all of the buildings have gone because I have blown them up, but we do have Aurora Textile over here in all its glory. Obviously it's now been rebranded to be Cushy's Textiles for 25 in remembrance for Mr. Cushy UK Gaming. It's exactly the same as it was back, it is now. So obviously back then in 19 this was a buildable, so you do have to bring the products over here and to build it first of all, and then obviously once it's built, we got everything in here. So we do have your sacks in here, we have clothing, pillows, sweatshirts, stuff like that coming out of it. In addition, if you had the straw harvest mod, On this side, you could also create your bale net, bale twine and stuff. So it's exactly the same as how we set it up in 22. And obviously, with the announcement that Straw Harvest will be coming to 25 very, very soon, we should be able to use those products again that's already in there with the balers and stuff, hopefully. Farm Sim G, thank you very much for that follow, much appreciated, and welcome in, buddy. So yeah, over here we do have your unloaded areas, the same again. Obviously, it is what it is. We've got the displays in here. Obviously, hopefully, eventually, we'll be able to get them back in. But yeah, and all these palette visuals will be quite nice. So yeah, Aurora's textile is right there, pre-placed, but you will need to build it, so bear that in mind. Now, if we follow the road up here, we do come to Hilltop Farm, like I was saying. This has got like a BGA on it. Yeah, looks like I've actually deleted a lot of the buildings over here. But yeah, over in the back here, if you come over on a new save game, you'll have like a horse training area, I suppose best way to put it. Where you have jumps, you have this, that and the other over here is to train them. But you also have a little BGA for selling as well over here to save you going all the way over to the central farm. In addition, you've got loads of fields over here, which is kind of nice. So makes a nice little starter area if you want a different area to start with. You also have sell points over here. You got another Shell fuel station, which is going to be coming over to 25 fairly soon. Additional sell points over there. But yeah, obviously coming down, also we do have the wine factory, exactly the same as it is now in 25 and 22. This version, obviously, you do have different wines coming out of it, because obviously on this map, which is literally just down the road, there is a little vineyard that produces different grape types. So in this one, you have like red wines, rouge, white, all those different types of wines coming out of this one. But yeah, you can place this down any way you want. But I popped it up here because it's literally just a little drive down the hill to get your grapes. Right next door we do have Ken's, which is built, as you can see. This is already placed into the map. Obviously you do have to build it and supply the products. Obviously it's the same as what it was in 22 and 25. Now coming across the road here we have Corning, which is your glass factory. For those idle people, you'll recognise the building. It has been reused a couple of times now for other things. Obviously for me, I've used it as the PV Oils factory in 25 and 22, and our Boomhauer used the same one for the cigarette factory, obviously retextured and stuff. But yeah, this is where you get your glass. Obviously you got to supply your sand and all that, and obviously you get your pallets out of the inside. Now one thing that was kind of cool, and I totally forgot about this back in the day, but at the back here we do have these little areas that kind of show the glass almost being made. It'd be kind of cool if we could get something similar like that, but with animation, where you have the sheets of glass being rolled out. That'd be kind of cool, maybe stacked onto a pallet or something, then disappearing, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's kind of cool, I like it. Interesting. There's no actual lights in this building. That'd be why then. Okay. So yeah, that's... I'm getting there, slowly. But anyway, carrying on down the hill, we do have the vineyard area. Now, obviously it was redone later game, because it was originally here, there and everywhere, and it became a bit of a pickle to get around. So Mr. Dave redid the whole area, and all you literally have to do is own this area. You will need to supply the tanks over here with fertilizer, lime, herbicide and compost. That will then give you your 1, 2, 3, 4 types of grape and blueberries and your blackberries. I'm kind of considering bringing back the blueberries and blackberries in a greenhouse. But yeah, once you've got it up and running, obviously the pallets will show in here visually, which you can then spawn them out, put them onto a trailer, and transport them to where they're going. But I do kind of like those, they're kind of cool, I like that. Now, carrying on, don't have to worry about that. That's an offshore fish point, so if you want to buy fish, you can do, I believe, from there. I never did it myself, but I'm pretty sure that's what that's for. They can then go into the hatcheries and be made on. Now, carrying on down the road here, obviously this is one area I did do a lot of landscaping, because obviously this is quite a hilly area. It kind of did my head in, so I ended up flattening it, and the aim was to actually create a bigger field over here. Never got around to doing it though, but it is what it is. But if I remember rightly, this section right here of the road is demolished, so you have to build it. And if I can remember correctly, it's either there or over there to add the products. I'm trying to remember some with places. I'm pretty sure it was one of those two. It's either one of those sides that you need to bring the products to. I've got a feeling it's that one actually, to build it, which is kind of cool. But anyway, coming down here, we have the American Electric Power Company. Now, obviously, like I was saying, with these power companies, each one will supply a different selection of factories. So, if I bring up the map a sec, I'll kind of explain this a little bit better for you guys. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I can't remember having to take a long trek on the dirt road to get it. So yeah, on this side here. So, with each of these power companies, like you've got one in the south, north, east, south, and west. So obviously, let's start off with the American Electric. So this is going to supply power to obviously Domino's Sugar right here, plus the factories within this area up here. I'm trying to think if it supplies the race course as well, but I cannot remember currently. Maybe, maybe not. Coming across to the Southern Electric Company, this power company will supply power to these factories within this area. Okay. Coming over to Duke Electric, which is right here, or Duke Energy, that will supply power to the factories in this area that are pre-placed. Remember, it's got to be the ones that's pre-placed. Any additional ones don't count, but any of those pre-placed ones that are buildable in the map, you need to go to those power companies that's closest. Then finally, PSNG, which is at the top here, or PSEG should say, will supply power to everything up north here. So all the factories in this area up here, you will need to get this power company up and running to supply power. Now, like I was saying the other day, or I think it was last week actually, once you get at least 2 to 3 of these electric companies up and running or owned, you can supply and share power between each of the power companies. Makes life a little bit easier. So if you just don't say, for instance, you have enough to buy the actual power company but not get a module down, what you could do is go to your other power companies and set them to share power, and they will actually, any additional power will then be shared with those other companies. It makes life a little bit easier. And obviously, once you get in, you can then get a little bit of money together to actually then put down the modules and get them up and running properly. So yeah, makes life a little bit easier. But anyway, that is the power companies. That's the last one, obviously, now. And then also we do have Domino's Sugar right here. Exactly the same as it is in 22 and 25. Kind of want to keep it the same, texture-wise and everything. So yes, obviously loving it. So obviously you got your the molasses over here. Obviously yeast spawns out in here. Obviously underneath you can load sugar into a tipper if you wanted to, and take it to wherever it needs to get to. Obviously this does need a lot of product put into this, but yeah, your sugar beets can go into there. At this point we didn't have sugar beet cuts, but we do have sugar cane which can be unloaded there, along with sacks. The sacks will allow you to spawn out the containers, I believe, over here. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is what the sacks were all about. But look at this. What else is missing on this shed? Yes. Dang it. Shadow. Dang it. Oh, they were terrible. They really, really are. But yeah, very nice. Exactly the same as it is in 22. Same as 25. But yes. Carry on down. So this is the last little run now. So coming down towards the other airport. And over here we do have the racecourse. Now this is one thing that has not made it to 22 or 25. This is kind of a sell point. Never really got utilised in all honesty. But I'd love to see some people, I don't know if anybody's actually tried it, but grab some fast cars and just go round and round and round. I don't know, maybe set 10 lap limit or something. And whoever gets there is the winner type thing. I'd love to see that one day. Maybe some go-karts or motorbikes. Might have to look into see if we can get this thing converted. It's a big old placeable, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have back again. But yes. But then we got the Pleasant Valley Airport at the bottom down here. So yeah. I don't think there was anything there. I know there was plans on, I think maybe an additional storage or something going there, but that's about it really. But then coming back, yeah, we're sort of coming back down the bottom. Also, we've got dusty fields or dusty lands down the bottom here, and yeah, we're back at pretty much where we were at the beginning. The fairgrounds, maybe. I think that's too small for the fairgrounds, but yeah. We are literally back at where we literally started. So we got another Aldi, we've got another building there that we can blow back up. But yeah, like I was saying, when you sell the land that these buildings are on, they will respawn. But I don't believe you actually get the products back if you blow them up again. So bear that in mind. So there we go. So that is most of the map covered, production-wise. Obviously, all those factories, or most of those factories around the outside, are pre-placed and have to be built. Once they're built, you can then start producing stuff. So like Dell, that's a great one to get up and running. Now, actually, I'm kind of considering. Now, I know T Miller mentioned about it as well. Is getting some of these other Shell stations converted back over to 25. So obviously I know some of them are in 22, so it shouldn't be too hard of a convert. But obviously this is the vehicle shop. Obviously this is another area I've completely cleared, as you can see, of all the trees. It looks a little bit bare. But yeah, we do have the government building down here. Now, one of the things I did mention about is on this map there is 3 spoilers, and I don't want T-Miller to say any of them or anybody else yet. But yeah, you got the government building there. Right next to that will be a seasonal building that will pop in the autumn. But along here, we do have the morgue. It's exactly the same as it is in 22. Visually, it's just a building, a little building. You put your coffins in, and you get your dead bodies out. From there, they can then go into the graveyard. Pretty. Oh, I just realised it should be that side. I don't know. One of these sides has a cell trigger, so yeah. Kinda cool. Like it, like it. Oh, while I'm here. The vodka factory! Obviously, I'm doing a few tweaks to this thing to try and get it working a little bit better. But yeah, this is one that you can place down yourselves, but is a buildable as well, which is quite nice. I just realised I placed it down facing the wrong way, because that sign should be at the front. Oh well. But anyway, yes. There's that, there's that. There's about it, really. That really, really is about it. Obviously, one of the things, if you're just starting the map, obviously the signs around the starter farm can be removed by going up to the government building, and on the left hand side, just before you go in, which will be down here. Oh, let me turn all this super speed and stuff off, because I'm going to do a little bit of walking first of all. Turn that off. I'm going to turn that off. So over here will be a sign that you can cut down and remove the signs around the main Johnson Starter farm. Now, one of the big things is, I kind of wanted to show this. Once you've built a factory that's built into the map, so things like Copper by Design, Dell Electronics, Wolfie's Pizza, Heinz, so on and so forth, what will happen is, in the government building, you will actually get an award, as it were. Is one of these little signs will pop up to display that you've actually got that factory built within the map. So all of these little rewards or awards, should say, are ones that I currently have built. And obviously, I've got them all built, so I have all of the signs in here now. We've got Kellogg's, we've got Ken's, we've got Planters Peanuts, we got the pizza, we've got Wolfie's, Domino's, Aurora Textiles, Copper by Design, and the electronics factory, Dell. So yeah, there's a whole array of little extra treats, I suppose. So you can actually keep an eye on what ones you've got built and what you don't have built. Now, like I was saying, obviously, I mentioned it a few times now, when you first start, if you want to find those locations of the bridges, there they all are. All those green dots that are on that board are bridges that I have built. There's 18 on the map. When you first load up, they'll be red, and they'll change to green once they're fully built. So there's quite a few to get done. That is one thing I would say. In addition, you got this little bay right here, which is for your seasonal items. So obviously in autumn, you will be able to spawn coffins around the map, and in winter you can spawn presents around the map. This will actually work both with and without seasons, but it is actually better to do it with seasons. But yeah. So if obviously I come over here, obviously I've got 6,000 litres of presents I could spawn out, and then I'd have to go hunting on the map to try and find the little buggers. They're not the easiest to find, let's put it that way, but they're out there. The coffins are a lot easier, I'll tell you that. Now, with that being said, there is one last thing. As I'm here, I will say, so like I was saying, there's 3 Easter eggs on this map. There's one inside the government building. Literally inside the building. If you play seasons, don't put anything there. The graveyard was the only placeable I didn't place down. Yeah. To be honest, where it is right now, there's nothing that spawns there, so that's why I put my graveyard there. But yeah. The area just outside the government building, actually, I'll show you. Where are we? Right here. Yeah, so this area right here, do not place anything within that area, like Team will say, because in autumn, a haunted building will show up there. It's the same one we have in 22, the haunted house, yeah. The one that I've converted over to 22. This will spawn here. You want to keep this area completely clear. It's also one of the spawn areas for the coffins. I'll give you an idea. Yes. Oh, welcome back there, Mr. The Vink. So, let me get rid of this little mini map. So in here, like I was saying, there is an Easter egg in here. You will need a stick of dynamite, okay, first and foremost. And what you'll want to do is bring it inside the building, or if you can get it, go up and outside the building. And what you want to do is, within this little courtyard area, up in the area here, you will need to throw the dynamite into this area. I'm pretty sure it's up here somewhere. Into this area anyway. Give it a little while, and you'll get quite a nice little payload come out of here. That's the first one. Obviously, once you got the payloads out of there, It's going to be fun getting them out here, I will say. I had a lot of trouble getting some of them out, but it's doable. So there's one of the Easter eggs. This is FS19 PV County. Yes. County was in 19. Canyon Crossing is 22. Right. So that is the first one. So the government building is the first Easter egg. The second Easter egg is Fort Knox. Now with this one, you will actually need to come up with a truck and a barge. Yes, a barge. You're going to have to come up in the water, okay, with this one to get this Easter egg. What you'll need to do is come up to the upper right corner of the water area of where Fort Knox is. Now let me turn this back on. That's it, because it's going to be a lot easier and faster. So this bottom corner down here has a little trigger. It's a very tricky one to get, but once you unload your explosives into the trigger right there, inside right here, this little room opens up, and in here you'll have to add in more dynamite to get some more loot, shall we say. So that is Easter egg number 2, Fort Knox, beneath it. So there is one other in the map where you can get a little bit extra loot, and we're heading up north for this one. You may have spotted it earlier, but I don't know how quick I was to try and hide it. But up here, yes, where T Miller works, exactly. Oh, so does that mean if we take a stick of dynamite to T Miller's workplace, will we get gold out of it as well? Oh, by the way, T Miller, just out of curiosity, before we get to this last one, are you anywhere near the floods in Texas, where was it a camp or something got flooded and washed away or something? You might get arrested. Yeah, exactly. No, PJ's is close to it. Okay. Yes. We've heard about it over here now as well. I actually came over the news, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Yeah, that's not good, but yeah, hopes and prayers that they all are safe. It's like, was it 24 kids or something, and 2 adults, or 3 adults, all washed away on the raft type thing. But anyway, so, getting back to the third and final Easter egg. So, if you come to the back of Walmart, where the sell point area is, right here, with some dynamite, right here is another little trigger, which then drops the floor away. 101 have died so far or missing. Oh, blimey. Oh, I feel sorry for them, I really do. Let me turn this off because it's going to be easier to walk under here. Obviously, once the roof area disappears, you can then come underneath here. And I haven't actually cleared all of the material, but underneath here, there is a whole array of things that you can then take out of here as extra loot as well. So yeah, that is your third and final one. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure in the middle here, there is something like a campaign with American flags and this, that, and the other in there. So yeah, the children were summer camp, yes. Who knows? Walmart hired a basement, exactly. But yeah, that is your third and final one. So yeah, what you want to do, if I remember rightly, by this wall here is where you want to add in that dynamite to unlock that little area. But yes, it's not there in the 22 version, so don't even try it. Now that'd be an interesting one actually. Oh, have the rock breaker break the piece right here to get underneath it in 25 maybe. I don't know. Something to work on maybe. But yes. So there we go. Obviously, if has anybody got any questions, by the way, about the map? Is there anything that we may not have touched yet, or you want to see? Because I can always show that a little bit more in detail as we've got a bit of time. Da, 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 da. What have we got going on over here? Oh, actually, while I'm here, I might as well show you the sharing stuff. Let me come down a sec. Oh, typical. F, what, J. Now, okay, one thing I will say... Oh, hello, hang on. There you go. Alright, Team Miller, take care, have a great one. We'll see you again very, very soon. Let me turn this off a sec, turn that off a sec. More than 160 people were still missing in Kerr County. 95 confirmed it. Oh, blimey. Oh, blimey. Definitely thoughts and prayers go out to their families. Oh, blimey. Not good. So one of the things I will say is obviously earlier on I was showing off those pallet movers for the animal pens. Obviously you're going to need batteries for them. Obviously the batteries come from the Dell Electronics factory, and you can take them to any of the 4 power companies. What you do is unload a pallet into there of batteries, and then on the inside here, on these plates, batteries, once they're charged, will spawn. Now, I'm trying to remember, once the batteries lose their charge, I know you can bring them back to these power companies, but I can't remember if you place them back on these pads here, or if you take them to the trigger outside. I'm pretty sure they just get placed on here and then get recharged. I could be wrong, but yeah. Oh, there we go. But now, so like I was saying, you can share power. So once you come into the factories, you can actually see here all the different factories that these power companies will supply. Obviously, I've got a little bit of extra power here because we've got pallets there, we've got pallets there, we have pallets there. So this is definitely producing more than enough power. But what you can do, in the middle here, you do have these 3 bays right there, and this will allow you to share power to some of those other companies. Literally, all you have to do is come into here and make sure that this is turned to on. So click start, and that will then share the power to the other power companies. So if you actually do to all of them, if you really wanted to, you could do there, you could do to Southern Company, and that will actually share it between all of the companies. So if you actually set each of them up to be active, you could literally have one company, power company, not even having any power being made at it, but still supplying the factories. So yeah, that's literally how easy it is. The nice thing is, obviously, these do have, I'm pretty sure the light kits can be added to these as well, along with all of these displays, which is kind of nice. And I'm pretty sure that these lights come on automatically late in the day. But yeah, there we go. That's it. I think we're pretty much covered everything so far. Crude oil not accepted here, really? It must be full. But yes, I do love this boat. It's kind of cool. But yeah, with this you can actually drive it. It's a little bit tricky to turn, I will say that. But if you can get it turned around easily, you can actually drive... Come on, stop saving. You can actually drive all the way down here, or you can stop off here, pick up some crude oil from there. You can drive down and off the map, as it were, come down to here, where the other silo is. Let me zoom in a little bit, and then also you can drive up and around to here and pick up more crude oil. And then obviously you need to take it to the Shell refinery. Now, in addition to there, for unloading crude oil, obviously, like I was saying earlier, Alcoa also needs crude oil for certain things. If you actually drive up here, I think it's around about here if I remember correctly, there is another dock that's been set up. You will actually be able to use the boat to unload crude oil into it to go over to Alcoa. It makes life that little bit easier. So there is other options. But I'm not going to drive that route because it's a pain. Now, the last thing is, like I was saying, on the map, there is... I'm going to actually get a boat for this last bit. We're going to grab a fishing boat. Should I go for that one? Oh, good question. Or the speedboat. I think it... I can't remember which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Yeah, I'm going to lease this for a sec, because I do know I own one already. And we're going to jump over to the shop. There we go. So obviously, these will spawn out at the shop. It's a little bit loud. But you will be able to drive down into the water. I'm actually going to turn that down because it's freaking loud in my ear. Hang on a sec. And it's very loud as well for you guys. Volume, volume, volume. There you go, so a little bit better. Yes, this is the boat that has the baby shark as a horn. It's funny. Right then, so if you're early gaming, you need to access the other areas of the map. One thing you can do is, if you come into Warcraft, if you don't own it already, I'm pretty sure it's one of the starting equipment. You can actually buy this barge right here. Drive it down here, and then over on this corner here, if you can see where my mouse is, you can actually drive to there and load your vehicles on and off of the barge there. And then drive it to the other side, wherever. There's lots of docks around the map. I know some people actually did a little bit of landscaping on the other side just to get on and off. But yeah, makes life that little bit easier early game. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to hit cruise control, but I want it to go a little bit slower than that. So I'm going to drop this right down just to maybe about 50-ish. And I'm actually going to enable F5. So this is actually going to show the collisions. Now, one of the things is with fishing around the waterways, like I was saying, is there's lots of little triggers. Now, when you get into doing the fishing, one, you're going to need to own the waterway, and two, you're going to have to allow it to rain, okay, on the map at least once to fill up the triggers with fish. Now, obviously, once you get in, there's one right there, it's just popped into view. So all you'll need to do is, obviously, have your F1 menu up, drive over to the trigger, obviously slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Once you get into the trigger there, you'll get a little message pop up saying open dialogue, animal dialogue, R key. You can then start loading in the fish. So we'll do 5 fish from there for the minute, or 4, whatever it was. Did that even take? I can't remember. Oh look, somebody's got a car. Stop, 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 stop. The braking on this thing is ridiculous. But yeah, regardless of that, but yeah, around the map there is multiple these fish triggers, okay? There is some within the inner waterways, but there's also some around the outside that you have to find. It's kind of crazy. Now, one of the things I would say is if you've got auto drive active in your save game, it might be worthwhile while you're driving around to set up a course and state where all these triggers are so you know for future reference. Now bear in mind, auto drive will not drive these boats, so don't even try using it. Same with Courseplay, they hate the boats. They really, really hate the boats. So yeah, but what you could do is activate this, do a record as you're going through. So obviously that's the first one. What I could technically do is do that. So trigger one, excuse my spelling, but yeah, what you could do is when you get to a trigger, just state where it is and then carry on driving if you really wanted to, and it makes that life that little bit simpler for finding the fish. Now obviously you may have to go left and right throughout the whole waterways to find it, but once you find all those triggers, it's so much easier. And the nice thing is, if you actually go to the main map here, you can actually see where they're all located in the river once you get all those points set up. Same thing with 22, okay? On Canyon Crossing, you could use your auto drive to basically point to where all those triggers are. Look at how high power boat wheels are compared to... I know! They're so small, aren't they? Yeah. Things were definitely a lot easier back then, in 19, I suppose. But there's another one, for example, so we can come across to here. We'll just try to slow down. But yeah, the braking is one of the things that is a bit of an issue, I think, for the boats in 19. There, start. So there's some more. Obviously, what you can do while we're going at it. Trigger 2. There we go. And yeah, we just keep going up and down until you find them all. It's so simple, isn't it? Now, obviously, if you've got a simple system, you may not want to do that and just do a point if you really wanted to. But yeah, so literally, there's triggers all the way along here, around here, down here, up here, along here. I don't think there's actually anything along this river, so I wouldn't worry about that. But yeah, these bigger ones like this one here, for example, all the way up here, and in this area here is definitely got triggers. I remember coming up to here for one or two. But yeah, obviously you do have obviously the sea fishing boat, which I'd probably recommend having the two. One for the inner areas, and then one for that other outer area. And yeah, you can come out here and you do have other triggers. I think it's actually this one maybe right about here, if I remember, for the sea fishing. But there is certain fish that will give you caviar as well. I think it's a salmon and possibly the trout. I can't remember if that's the exact one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure those two give you caviar when they're in the hatcheries. And look, there's another trigger right there. But yeah, it is so much easier if you've got dev console active to be able to find those triggers. Can I get it? Can I get it? Can I get it? Yep. Oh, dang, I've gone out of it. Now, once you're full, now the other thing is you can't really see a capacity, but one thing that does happen is inside the boat here, these start spawning in and showing that once that area is filled up, is your boat is full and it's going to need to be unloaded. Obviously, you could just take these straight to the sell point if you really wanted to, or you could take them into the hatcheries to then grow further and make more fish, make your caviar, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, I've got a few fish in there already, so depending where you were picked the fish up will depend on which hatchery you need to have placed down. So all those inner waterways, so for this boat in particular, These are going to be your freshwater fish. They'll need to go into the freshwater hatchery. Now, if I can get this to go straight briefly, I can show you them in the store. So if we go to placeables, and I'm pretty sure it's under the animal husbandries. Yep, so we've got a freshwater hatchery right there, and an ocean fish hatchery. Obviously, you will need to add some corn, wheat, or food anyway, to this. Now, once you got them placed down somewhere on your map, be careful of other boats because they may run into you because they're dumb. A lot of playtime on the map, yes. Well, this particular save game, I've got just over 800 hours, and this is actually my original playthrough save game. Hence why I've got all the mines opened up, all the tunnels cleared, all the bridges built, all the factories built. I know some people, I think it's like T Miller was saying he's got like 1800 hours. So yeah, I really focused the first 300 hours, 300 to 400 hours on this map solely designated to building the bridges and building those factories and such, just to make life that little bit easier. I did a little bit of farming to start off with, but it made life so much easier just focusing on them. Now then, obviously here we have obviously my two fish hatcheries. So we got freshwater here, we have the ocean ones. Now you don't have to get too close because it does have quite a big trigger. Obviously, as you can see, I'm pretty far away from the hatchery and I'm already getting that little pop-up say for the open the animal dialogue. So if we come into here, for example, so Mr. The Vink, thank you very much for the 20 bitties, much appreciated. So from those two little triggers, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 catfish, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rainbow trouts. Now the nice thing is what we can do is move this lot all the way across into the trigger. Oh, actually, hang on. Yeah. So select one, take it over, confirm, take it. Hopefully that's going over. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. There we go. Done. So with the freshwater one, you can have your obviously catfish, your rainbow trouts, you can have carp. I think that was all of them. I think the salmon comes under the other one. Rainbow trout, rainbow trout. Catfish, carp, rainbow trout. Yeah, looks like that's the only 3 that go into that one. For some weird reason, I was thinking there's 4 that went into this one, but it must only be the 3 there. It's the only 3 fishies I'm seeing. But yeah, from there you can then grow them up, and obviously they'll breed like an animal type thing, and obviously you'll get caviar and stuff. Now, obviously, like I was saying, you do have ocean fishing as well, so you're going to need the other boat for that, and you'll need to come around the outside of the map. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, down here, just as you come out of this little estuary, as it were, I'm pretty sure there's a trigger somewhere over here. Now, to make this life a little bit easy to show you these, let me jump into this John Deere and come over to this trigger. So in this fish hatchery, also you're going to have cod, salmon, and red snapper going into it. Also, you can sell them if you wanted to, but yeah, who does? But yeah, I'm pretty sure the salmon from this one will give you the caviar, and I'm pretty sure it was the rainbow trout in these ones. Let me come over here a sec. There we go. Okay, so there is others, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the trouts In this one, maybe they give you the caviar. Did they say? It doesn't say. But oh, okay. In this one, actually, you get your brown trout, carp, rainbow trout, pike, perch, catfish, and bass. Wow, interesting. Where's the fishies? Where's the fishies? There's no visuals in this one. Da, 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 da. But yeah. But this one, on the other hand, does have little fishies. Look at that. Look at that. But yes, end of this year, we will be getting fish into FS25 officially, which is kind of nice. But yeah, obviously you got a trigger right here for salt and fish food, I believe it is, goes into there. Also, we've got another tower right there, which is quite nice. Obviously, you will need to supply water. Now, what I did using that Animal Pet Extended mod is on over here. Somewhere over here. Oh yeah, right there. I've actually got the output pipe going into the actual hatchery, and obviously I was able to get the tap over here for filling. Isn't that cool? So obviously you hit the R key when you get up close enough, and that will then flood and fill it up with water. Actually, I was lucky it wasn't even done. So yes. I like the fish. It's going to be fun having the fish back. That's one thing I will say. And I keep hearing this boat. So let's turn that off. So there we go. Now one thing to bear in mind is when you jump out of these boats, there's not much collision on the inside, so be very, very careful. But yes. That's another thing as well. In the 25 video for the new Highlands fishery map, they keep mentioning about fishing from the shore with like a rod. I wonder if that is actually going to be a thing. The only thing we've seen so far is obviously growing the younglings and then taking them over to the ocean farms. They haven't actually shown anything about um, actually fishing from the shore. Hmm. Or is that just an assumption by some people? But yeah, the nice thing is, with this version, we do have fish food makers right here. Obviously, they're going to take your maize, your wheat, and fish meal, and that's going to make your fish food, which can then go into your hatcheries there. Look at that! Look at how impressive that is. I've forgotten just how nice they actually looked. Hmm. That might be something else that could come back to 25 for some reason. I don't know. Maybe repurpose it. And obviously you got your fish market right here. Now obviously with this you bring your fish and that over to it. Obviously you're going to need fish, you're going to need packaging, you're going to need pallets in here. And obviously you're going to get your fish fillets out of this, fish oil and fish meal. So it's a round robin. You're feeding fish the fish. But yes, I like it. But that's pretty much everything. Oh, stop saving. So we've covered all of the factories that come in the pack during these streams. Obviously, Dave focused mainly on those buildable ones and the pre-placed ones within the map, which is kind of nice. So you've now seen all of that. Obviously, there's a whole mining area up here that you can unlock. Now, one thing I will say as well, with these mine areas, there's tunnels that you obviously clear the walls with the dynamite. If you keep going, those tunnels could actually reach two different areas, so you don't may not necessarily have to build bridges. For example, if you wanted to get over to here, You could do it without even building a single bridge. You'd need to clear the tunnel going from down here to the ore mine. Then from that ore mine, you could actually take the road out of here and down and around to this area, which is interesting, isn't it? Obviously you could use a barge if you really wanted to, go up and around. But yeah, obviously in amongst here, there's loads and loads of tunnels. For example, if I remember correctly, if you come across here, there's a second tunnel that comes out over here. From there, you could actually take a tunnel. If I remember correctly, there's one that comes up and around here. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one that comes out here. That's a really long one. It's like one of the longest ones right there. But then there's other ones like down here, for example, if you come down the hill through this bauxite, and I'm pretty sure it's off of this copper mine. There's another roadway in here, and I think there's one here from this bauxite. There's a lot of different tunnels you can clear to access different areas of the map. So don't get too obsessed with building bridges, is all I'm trying to say. Is maybe look at the tunnels and find a different way to get to places, because it is achievable. Ba -ba 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 -ba. But yes. Oh, I've got an explosive shack up there. But oh, here's something. I don't know if anybody remembers it, but Uncle Henry. For anybody who knows who Uncle Henry is, obviously he actually used to play this map quite a while ago, and he actually ploughed up this entire mine area along here, this road area, I should say. He ploughed up that area over there in this little mine area right section here, and planted the whole area with lavender. He showed a picture to me once of it, and it was just literally a sea of purple coming down here. It was pretty beautiful, actually, in all honesty. But yeah. Oh, it must have taken him some time to do it, that's all I can say. To go through, clear the area, plough it up, plant it, and then grow it. It must have taken a fair bit of time. In addition, what I will say is, if you're very, very clever, and if you've cleared some of these mines, you can actually make them into little hidden production areas as well. It's tricky but doable. So for example, Popcorn Sutton's right here. I was able to get it actually inside one of the mines. I still don't like that little truck there. It looks horrible. But it can be done. I'm pretty sure. I think Coffee Man might have been able to up here in the coal mine actually place in a explosive shed or the explosive shack. I'm gonna kind of try and do it myself, to be honest, just as a tester, and I'm kind of wasting time now because time is ticking on, and I'll be jumping off very, very soon. Is it under miscellaneouses? Nope. Oh, there's all your feed towers. Beverage. I don't think it's on the oh, there it is. Explosive shack. Would have to be under the construction stuff, wouldn't it? Right, and rotate you. Now, obviously, one thing you would have to try and do is get low down. But you can, as you can see, get right in there. And obviously, as long as it's green, you can place one down anywhere you want. Now, actually, oh, while I think about it, there is another coal mine in here, and it is buried. I'll tell you, it really is buried in this map. Mr. Darius Frost, for those who've been watching him, and I'm pretty sure it was X-Man as well, turned the coal mine into a dairy area, and it's right here. It's this tunnel right here. So what you'll need to do is obviously clear all the tunnel walls. It's very dark in here, so I do apologise. We'll put a little bit of light on here. But this is another one that's got a lot of walls to clear. But if you come all the way down to the bottom, and this is going back a fair old way. I don't know if they've got any videos still of it. But down here, there is a coal, quite a big coal tunnel, or coal mine, you say. And I'm pretty sure both of them turned this area into, I think it was more Darius actually, turned this area into like a cow farm, as it were, under here. It takes a bit of work, but he did it at least. It is very, very cool. Hey there, Big Tigger, how you doing, buddy? But yeah, it is doable. It is doable, guys. But yeah, there's so many of these tunnel walls, it's crazy. Actually, I'm kind of curious now if I've got any mines that have still got materials in them. That is cleared. That's cleared down there. Let's have a look over here. That one's been cleared, so that was a salt mine right there. Obviously that's cleared. Obviously we've got gravel one down here. It's still got a little bit in it. Okay, to clear. Got an ore mine here, which has been cleared. Now, one thing I will say is, when you get to, I think it's this tunnel wall. Where are we? Yeah. So this tunnel right here, it'll take you from this ore mine here down to this lime mine. Oh, so lime, yeah. One of the walls, for some weird reason, has a bit of an issue at times. One thing you can do is, if you find that it doesn't explode or and remove, try and save and reload your save game. Most of the time, that will get it to trigger. You may have to add another bit of explosives to that particular wall. But yeah, for some weird reason, there's always one in here that has an issue. But yeah, if you do, try save and reload, and then add the explosives again. If it doesn't blow up when you restart, it should go. But it's literally this one right here, so it'll give you an idea of which tunnel it is. So from the ore mine down to the lime mine, the top here. So that tunnel right there. If not, give me a shout. There is a way of editing it, if I can remember which door it is, to remove it. So there is that. But anywho, let's have a little quick wander around. I'm going to see. I don't think there was any more still with products in there. I've literally got them all out, I hope. But I just want to double check. Most of this is now into silos, actually. Still being used. Let's see. But yeah, looking at it, most, if not all of the mines are now actually cleared for me. That's how much work I've done on this blinking map. It's ridiculous. Right, so we've come there. Right, so there's a little bit in that one to pick up. Okay, that's not a worry. That one was the coal mine underneath there. That's cleared. But yeah, all of these ponds as well in different areas will produce silt. If I actually come down, which can then go into your I think it's the gold masters in that, and compost makers. Needs some of this stuff. They actually spawn in these little lines, so you will need a bucket of some kind or something to pick them up. They will literally respawn and respawn and respawn and respawn and respawn. Now, if you didn't want to drive into the water, you can take a tanker to these ponds as well and remove that water. In addition, you can also add water back into them later on. But yeah, makes life so much easier. But there's one by Johnson's Farm, and there's others around the map as well that are exactly the same setup. But yeah, looking at it, most if not all of my mines are now fully empty, which is great. Oh, is that one? Oh no, it's just the road coming down. Okay. I thought that was another one, but it's not. But yeah, this was originally an ore mine, and I've actually turned it into a grassy area. Would make a lovely placeable area actually, because obviously if you do a little bit of leveling here, you could open up quite a nice little area for a factory to go there if you want to, or maybe some animals, who knows. But yeah, I'm kind of just wasting time now, just because time is ticking on. There's another one that I've gone in. I think this was a bauxite. A mine right there. Quite a lot of product into them, to be honest. I ended up having to do a bit of landscaping and making it nice, a little bit nicer. But yeah, That's it's a Dalmatian. It's a Dalmatian mine. What one is that? Is that bauxite or something? Oh, that's copper. Okay, that was that was bauxite over there. This is copper. But yeah, it takes a heck of a lot, I will say, to get into these mines and clear them. Yes. Well, yes, I think we've done quite well today. We've covered all of the factories on the map now. Obviously, we've seen all of the bridges around the map, I think, now that they've been built. The only thing I didn't do is a little drive-through. I don't think we're going to have time for that. Um, what is that there? Oh, yeah, that's that one. Obviously, I've covered obviously all of the Easter eggs as well within the map. So 3 Easter eggs. There's 18 bridges to build. There's multiple tunnels to clear. Multiple mines to clear. Oh, obviously, I've shown you a little bit about the fishing. Obviously, the desert. Ah, there's lots and lots and lots going on. But yeah, this is a nice area up here, actually. This is another area that you can access from the beginning that makes a great little placeable area. I'm not quite sure what I had up here, but there was definitely something up here anyway that I've cleared. Possibly crystal steel, I don't know, maybe. So we've got an ore mine right there, so it kind of makes sense. But yes, maybe... Actually, there's a possibility you might actually have enough room there for both crystal steel and PF's concrete to be placed down. Now, obviously, right there you have an ore mine, and then right over here you have a sand mine. The only thing you need to pull in is some gravel from somewhere, and maybe some coal. Obviously, you got coal. Actually, if you come along this road right here, turn left, and then I think it's in here actually. There's a coal and ore mine as well. So yeah, everything is to your right at your hand basically. Makes life so much easier. But anyway, guys, I am going to call it there. It is time for me, unfortunately, to get off. I do believe Mr. Dashnet will be going later if he's not already live. I believe he's actually going to be doing some Fishing Planet later on in his next stream. So, yeah, make sure to go over and check him out and see what he is up to. Where is he? There, right there. I'll give him a shout out as well. Obviously, he has been playing a lot of 7 Days to Die. So there is that. Yep, I just seen that Mr. Wheels is live. So let's get over to the ending screen and say a big, huge thank you guys to everyone. Hopefully you got something from these streams. Obviously, like I said, there's going to be one more stream on Friday doing PV County. I might just stick with this save game just to get a few of those fields sorted out and finished off. Next week I will be going to FS22. I've decided not to worry about Uncharted for 19. I kind of want Mr. T. Miller to show that off a little bit more. So yeah, next week I'm going to go to Canyon Crossing. But yeah, I've got to get Friday out of the way, and then we'll be doing that for probably just 1 week, unless more questions come to light. I have no idea. So yeah, for if anyone's got any questions about Canyon Crossing, get them in so I can get them answered next week. Or if you have issues, let me know. So let's see, Mr. Wheels is out there playing some Horizon Forbidden West, whatever the heck that is. I have absolutely no idea. It looks like a survival type game. Okay. We've got to go over and check that out because it's a new game from the sounds of it. Obviously, it's his first playthrough, so okay. So for you guys over on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in. Much appreciated. I will see you Friday. Stay safe, stay well. Bye for now.